Because Ope said to the rest of us in the room, E-Rock just walked in the door and Ope said, and he said there's been a death in the family. And then E-Rock walked over to where Ope was sitting and he goes, can you move? I got to do this.
He was being sharp with him. Ope goes like, did you not just hear me? And he's like, no, I didn't hear you, but you got to move.
I just came in.
I got to do this.
E-Rock was very cranky this morning. What happened, E-Rock? Why were you so cranky?
No, it was just because we're running off a different operating system that we usually did. So I was making sure everything in the back was running, I had printouts and other stuff. So when I walked in, I didn't realize what he had just said. And I knew I had to get everything else running because you guys shut off all the computers here. I had to turn it back on. And I feel
You're babbling.
like shit.
Right. That's all for
shit.
Doing it was fine. It was just the timing of it wasn't good. You don't have to kill yourself over it. That's an option, but you don't have to do it.
You can think about it.
Yeah, you can certainly consider it. Were you here earlier? Why did Mars say when you walked in?
Mars is so pissed at Eric.
That's what I mean. I love
so fucking because we started with technical difficulties before Dwight Yoakam came on.
Sure.
Some random.
We now wish they had continued for the next 3.5 minutes. Fucking dumb Roland. But yeah, what happened? Because you said Mars was like E-Rock was doing something, and Mars like he should have been here, and it was like he's right here.
Yeah, he was like, "This is why I wanted you to come in early."
He's right here. E-Rock is here.
2
1 2 1 2.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I was hoping that he would come in a little earlier since we were coming from a new studio and we could establish everything beforehand. But, he did as usual. He just walked in, 5 minutes before show time. So.
Ouch.
And then we had issues, so.
We did have issues. We did. Was it, do you think the issue, you could grab
a mic.
Spin that one around. I'll put it on. Do you think the issues were directly related to you coming in 5 minutes before the show?
No, not necessarily, because on Friday when I was here and doing a bunch of stuff, there was an engineer in here. So when I popped in and I asked where the profit comes through, I was shown 4 different pots. And they said A, B, C, D comes through here. So I said, okay, had it. And then it turns out they didn't come through there. They came through another one. So
it was Mars'
operator
fault.
error. No, I didn't say it was Mars's error. It was the operator error.
Who was the operator?
Me.
Okay, so you made a mistake.
I did.
So you kind of just rolled in.
I was told bad info, and I didn't realize it. So.
Oh, E-Rock. All right, well, glad you showed up. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
So we'll see what we can. We have Jamie Jasta today from Hatebreed.
Yeah.
He's coming in at like 8, who I love. He's a great guest, and he has a great podcast. He interviewed me, and you're just a comfortable hour-long conversation, so I'm happy, we got a good guy who can talk well.
And he's been on the show before. He's a fan of the show.
Yeah, and people always say that, but it's rare that you know that they are. Like when I was talking to him in my hotel room, which is where we did the podcast, and other things. It's going to be a funny one. I just knew he was legitimately a fan of the show.
Yeah, I figured out he was a fan of the show, and he was like, hey, Sam, you should do my podcast, too. I was like, how the fuck do you even know who I am?
Yeah, that's a fair response. That's a very fair response.
Yeah.
And we also got Mike Judge, the singer. I watched that documentary. It's called There Will Be Quiet. Thank you, Travis. It's about this guy, the band Judge, that Troy talked about, which was like that straight edge movement in punk. And I don't really listen to punk, but it was really an interesting documentary to watch this guy kind of like how fast his band caught on, and they just kind of bailed out, and he pulled like a Bobby Fischer almost.
Well, that's what Troy was saying. I haven't seen the documentary, but he was saying that it was it was like a straight edge militant group where they were not only straight edge, but they would beat the shit out of anybody who wasn't straight edge. And he's sort of started watching all this violence like this was not what I intended.
Yeah, he said his lyrics were kind of causing it, but he had a whole bunch of... He seemed like an odd guy to me. Like that was a thing waiting to happen. Like if it wasn't that caused him to leave, something else might have. It was one of those things like, again, Bobby Fischer left Chess because he was, he was truly nutty, but he said it was all these demands not being met. But you have a feeling that he would have left Chess for some reason or another anyway.
There's a personality type too. I think when you get all these eyes on you, when you have a lot of people paying attention to what you're doing, there's a personality type that just goes into retreat mode.
That's the beauty of my career, is I've never had to deal with that.
Right. You are that personality type, but you just haven't gotten there yet.
Exactly. I believe me. I've been trying to get out of fucking show business since 1992, but yet I've not gotten into it. So I'm just kind of floating below the surface.
Right. You're looking for your freak out moment, but nobody's noticed.
No. And I really fucked up because we were going to get Michelle Beadle on the show today because we're all friends with Michelle.
Yeah.
And, I'm like... I'll text her on Sunday, and, I didn't want to bother her Saturday if she was being allegedly banned from a fight.
Right.
And I forgot to text her, so she's on the West Coast and has no idea. I know.
Why would you
I just forgot.
Everybody, you let everybody down.
I certainly did.
You did.
Yes, one of many times, and there's more times to come.
Yeah.
But I felt bad about that.
Well, she was banned, I guess. The Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, obviously, was on Saturday night.
Yes.
And she tweeted out something Saturday afternoon that she had been banned from the fight. Her and who was the other reporter?
Something Nichols.
Yeah, Rachel Nichols.
Travis, into the mic because I want everyone to hear your booming. You have a radio voice.
Yeah, he does.
You wanted everyone to hear me say, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Let me look it up.
And Rachel Nichols, maybe, unless there's somebody
Rachel
else.
Nichols.
Yeah. They were banned from the fight.
Rachel Nichols, why don't you put in your 5 cents?
You can't do this. You can't. Not today. You can't.
It's going to be a long show. Sammy Brand muffins.
Damn it. They were banned. Both these ladies were banned, the reporters, from getting into the fight at all. And apparently it's because they've reported on and been super vocal about all the domestic violence that Floyd Mayweather has been a part of.
And Michelle interviewed him. She did some interview and had no idea there was all these charges. And then I guess afterwards she got a lot of shit for giving him a softball fun interview.
Right.
After apparently he's been fucking knocking wives around.
Yeah.
And she said she felt bad about that, like, because she didn't know. So they both been vocal about it. There was somebody else who said he's been vocal about it, and they were denied credentials, or their credentials were revoked, and they said they were revoked. And then Mayweather's publicist said, no, they're not revoked. It was just a misunderstanding. Of course, there's a misunderstanding with the two women who talked about him doing.
Yeah, once it becomes public, it's like, oh, no, a misunderstanding. There wasn't any revocation.
Yeah, no other reporters. Just those two.
Wasn't there, I thought there was one other guy who had a problem. Deadspin has really been all over him. I think reported there was one other person. But then she flew back, I guess, to L.A.
Yeah.
And then HBO had gotten the decision reversed that night. I think Les Moonves had to get involved because it's a Showtime production, I guess.
It was a Showtime. That's how big the fight was. It was a Showtime / HBO promotion.
Oh, I didn't realize it was both of them.
Because I think Pacquiao has an HBO contract and Mayweather has a Showtime contract. So these two competitors actually had to co-brand this thing.
Can I have a tissue since there's no way to signal? Because I have a little runny nose. And so Les Moonves had to get involved and say, no, you got to let her come in. I guess somebody appealed up to him.
But she didn't go.
No, she was already back in L.A. and she just said, fuck it. You know, and then Rachel Nichols, I thought, should have went because I guess she was still there. And she's like, now I'm not going. And it's like, you know, I get why you're mad. But it's like, as a reporter, you can't sulk when they go, you can't come, and then you get your credentials back. To me, then you have to go because as a boxing reporter or as a sports reporter, you should just go. And I get why you wouldn't, but it's like, come on, you got to go. This is not a fucking, hey, you're invited because we like you thing. This is a guy tried to douche you, and then you got what you were supposed to get. So you can still complain, but go.
Although once you complain, it's like you've become the story now. So you're now this, as a reporter, you as the reporter are the story.
Yes.
So you've got to do whatever suits you. Like if you would criticize somebody for going after they, you know.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't criticize him for going because it's like if you got your job is to report on the fight, and you could still bitch about your credentials being taken away. You can that story still exists, but then if they say okay, you can go, we reversed it.
But it's almost like once you go in, the story kind of dies because you go like, oh yeah, but then they reversed it, so everything's fine. Like you can't keep going. Whereas Beetle was still the next day.
She probably could have went back
talking about this.
But at least if you're back in LA, you have an excuse.
Yeah.
If you've already traveled back to another state, even though it's a 45-minute flight. But the media, we always accuse of trying to forward the story by making the story. The press creates the stories.
Yeah.
So once they say you can go back in, if you're a legitimate, let's just say it happened to one of the boxers. Let's say there was a problem with one of the boxers. So you can't just drop out and have that be the story. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But I think it was a matter of it wasn't a mistake. Like they were left off the list on purpose.
Sure they were.
So they didn't want the people who left them off the list to now be able to control this story and say like, oh, no. It was a misunderstanding and we let them in so everything's fine now. By not going, Beetle and Rachel Nichols are saying, no, everything's not fine.
But you could have done both. I don't think the story.
I think it draws more attention to it though when especially Michelle Beetle, who's like one of the more
Michelle Beetle definitely
famous female sports reporters. When she's not at this fight and you would expect her to be there, it becomes a bigger story.
I still think that Rachel Nichols should have won. Yes, Kenny.
Sam, is Michelle Beetle mad at the WWE also?
She is.
Yes, about Triple H's support. Continued support, vocal support of
because
Mayweather.
Triple H has always been a Mayweather guy. They brought Mayweather into WrestleMania a few years ago to do a match and all that
He
stuff.
punched the Big Show and he broke his nose.
He broke his nose across his face. But he and Stephanie tweeted out a photo. I think it was backstage at the fight that night, saying, we're rooting for Mayweather, and they took a photo with Mayweather. And so Beetle posted something, I think on Saturday afternoon or evening, that she was no longer going to be a fan of WWE because of Triple H's continued support. Because obviously Triple H is, not just a wrestler, he's the CEO. He's right under Vince now over there.
Well, I understand that, and I'll ask Michelle about this. And had I texted like I said I would, I could have asked her shortly. But it's like, like with all, then you have to take that kind of tact with all sports. And it's like, there's so many fucking wife beaters in sports and abusive guys and drug addicts and guys that have beaten their kids. It's like, if you're going to take that angle, then you can't support any professional sports other than maybe one golfer at a time.
I agree 100%. That's what I was thinking about.
Yes!
Yeah, and moving to the next topic. If you're gonna say I'm not gonna be a fan of a sport or an athlete because of because of domestic violence, because of whatever he's doing, unless it's a horrific crime, like I guess a murder or rape or whatever, but there's so much domestic violence in sports.
All right, somebody get this quickly. Sam Roberts saying domestic violence is not a horrific crime. There's so much of it. It's old hat, according to Sam Roberts. Back after this.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? What did he do? Just punch his wife in the face? It's not like he drunk drove. Yeah, I hear you, Sam.
There aren't any. There are very few athletes or full sports. Like, you can't support the NFL then. Yeah. At all.
You got to say, I'm not going to support Triple H anymore. Like, you could still support wrestling and then just go fuck Triple H if you don't like the way he is. You could not support him for supporting Mayweather, but you can't write off the whole WWE.
I get, well.
Because then you got to write off boxing. Like, why are you even supporting boxing?
Because Triple H is in charge of WWE.
Well, so what? Why support boxing if they're allowing Mayweather to fight?
Yeah, but doesn't she work for HBO in their boxing show?
Beetle?
Yeah.
I think I don't know.
Yeah, that's why she was there covering the event for HBO.
It's one of those things where you tweet it out and you look at it and you're like, there's a whole fucking Pandora's box I opened.
Right.
It's like she probably, if she would look at
like the network she works for.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you realize there's a lot of ways you can be called inconsistent.
Hypocritical.
Yeah, but I don't think she's a hypocrite. It's like one of those things where you mean it when you say it and you're like, oh, yeah, that's true.
That's one of those where you start reading the replies and you start realizing you're getting out-argued on Twitter and you're like, oh, fuck.
I had to back up once on Twitter, and I did. I had landed in L.A. I was doing a TV thing, not worth getting into. And I was, I always hate the anonymous trolls. And there was that guy who was a fucking... a paramedic or something, or a firefighter.
I don't know.
And he had been going out, and I'm kind of thinking out loud. I wasn't actually looking for a response. I was just thinking out loud and trying to use my radio friend to help me. You just kind of answered me literal. Oh, literal Sam.
Got none.
Yeah, I don't know, Jim. I'm not you.
Yeah.
And he had been tweeting like some racist stuff, and the Post tracked him.
Yeah.
And they released his real name, and he got in big trouble. And then he got fired or whatever. And I was like, well, fuck him. He's an anonymous troll. And the fans got on me. They're like, you fucking asshole. You're always about speech and blah, blah, blah. Read the story. And legitimately, I was getting off a plane. I hadn't read the story.
You just tweeted out? You just read the headline and tweeted?
I read like the first couple lines, like, he's a troll. And I'm like, I got no mercy for any trolls. But then I realized, like, no, he wasn't really going after people. Like, he was just like tweeting dirty racist jokes that would have gotten him fired and shouldn't have. So I was wrong. So I went back and said, hey, I hadn't read the story or whatever. And I wound up supporting the guy because I realized what happened. So sometimes you got to just go like,
or just try to ignore it and just hope people forget.
Yeah, but I didn't want to do that. It was like I fucking shot my mouth off about something, and I was wrong.
Like in a month, Beetle will probably just send out a tweet about watching like whatever wrestling pay-per-views on, or just show up in the front row like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine.
Yeah,
it's tough when you take a moral stance against something you're a fan of, because eventually you just want to be a fan of it again. You can't be like if Sabbath,
like Gene Simmons.
Yeah, exactly.
A perfect example.
Gene Simmons, like, you shouldn't support that guy.
I should,
but he's like the God of Thunder. So what are you gonna do?
He certainly is.
What are you gonna do?
He sings a lot of songs I like.
There's been so many examples of what an asshole he is and what a douchebag he is. He's treated your friends, like the people in your life, poorly.
Deservedly so. They're not fans of Gene. They don't treat Gene well. They don't deserve good Gene treatment.
You're like, you mean Dr. Love? No.
Dr. Love treats everybody well. He spits blood and he spits fire. He's a hero.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like one of those things where the guy you rail against, you genuinely love what they do. So you got to go, I do love this guy. Ozzy, I've never had a moment like that. But with Gene, I had that one moment, but I fucking bashed him on the air. And then the next time I saw him, he had no idea I'd ever bashed him on the air. And he couldn't have been nicer.
And you went, oh, thank God.
Oh, he's so nice to me. I had my moment and I felt bad. I thought the fucking fight was boring.
Yeah,
boring.
I don't know exactly what people were expecting, though. I mean, boxing is kind of boring in general. There's only a few exciting moments in boxing. People either get upset that it's too fast or that it's boring. Mayweather's 38, Pacquiao's 36. They both got Mayweather almost 50 fights, Pacquiao over 50 fights, and they're making each $100+ million. At no point did I expect for this to be like a UFC fight where people are seemingly fighting for their lives.
You ever see Hagler Hearns? Like, I'm not saying I expected that.
I don't even know what those words are.
But it's considered, like, I think it was 3 rounds, one of the greatest fights of all time. I don't expect it to be that, where they're just brutally fighting for 3 rounds. I mean, it's literally only 3 rounds, but there was nonstop punching. And, like, both of those guys desperately wanted to win that fight. And I didn't expect that with this because, again, there's so much money at stake and they're both older. It's like almost like they probably looked at each other and went like, what are we, we'll fight, but what are we going to fucking, do you want to go into retirement with a fucking, a brain aneurysm? Like, let's not be stupid.
Right.
Let's enjoy this cash.
Yeah.
I'm good looking and you're going to run a country. Let's not be fucking dummies.
Yeah. I think I was definitely there. And I also think, I'm no boxing expert. I don't know if people know that or not.
I always thought you were because you're so physically fit. Like you have the body of a fighter.
No, I get it from track and field.
Oh.
But Mayweather's always kind of been a defensive fighter.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not this like knockout king.
Kenny, you didn't, because Kenny and I was up in Rochester doing really, really good shows, and we went and saw Brother Weeze in the morning, and Weeze had some kind of an into this hotel. So actually, Opie came up and he hung for the weekend. So my late show ended at 11:30 on Saturday. I'm like, I might be able to make this because how they fucking milk everything. So I sell merch and I'm talking to Opie. He's like, dude, they haven't even walked in the ring yet. So Kenny and I get in the car and we fly over there. And we got to see, we literally walked in just as they're announcing them. It was like, we saw the whole fight.
Wasn't it delayed like 45 minutes because of the pay-per-view issues?
I didn't know.
There were a lot of pay-per-view
Oh,
issues.
good. Okay,
and
so that helped us out.
It really was delayed a lot. Like there were packages being shown and everybody in the audience.
Packages? Oh, that's kind of pornographic. Showing that fucking package, Trav.
I heard you.
Go ahead, Sam.
Everybody heard
Sammy
you.
Brand muffins. Fucking cracking up.
No, I'm not.
Sock cucker.
No. Everybody in the audience was in.
I didn't know.
There were a lot of pay-per-view
Oh,
issues.
good. Okay, so that helped us out.
It really was delayed a lot. Like there were packages being shown and everybody in the audience.
Packages? Oh, that's kind of pornographic. Showing that fucking package, Trav.
I heard you.
Go ahead, Sam.
Everybody heard
Sammy
you.
Brand muffins. Fucking cracking up.
No, I'm not.
Sock cucker.
No. Everybody in the audience was interviewed.
By the way, did you watch them fighting?
I'm
Travis,
watching right now.
Can you see the way they're? I didn't expect that, Sam. We don't have monitors for Sam to see. Can you just show Sam for a second? It's no, you can't figure. It's not important. Who cares?
One guy's punching, now the
one
other
guy's punching another guy, and the other guy's punching.
Yeah.
But it was a brutal fight, and people didn't expect
They're
that.
just not stopping.
But it was. Oh, you can turn that off because I'm just going to watch Hagler Hearns again because it's such a good fight.
Yeah, I didn't. I kind of expected what we saw, like just a couple of guys. They're going to go the distance, and there's points that are scored.
Mayweather, though, like, it was the difference. It's like, I feel like he was watching, here's a great fighter, and he really is legitimately one of the greatest defensive fighters ever.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That cocksucker is so fast. Like, Mayweather, it felt like was luring him into the corner. Like, Mayweather kept getting into the corner, and that's not by accident. And then he's literally ducking under Pacquiao and then hitting him on the way out. It was almost like a strategy to get in the corner and then hit him on the way out.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think when you were watching, you weren't watching two guys fighting. You were watching Mayweather, who understands the science. Like, he's not a genius in many fields, but in terms of boxing, he is a genius, and he gets the science of how it works and how the points are scored, and just figured out exactly what he needed to do to win. It wasn't a matter of, I'm going to knock this guy out. There was no sort of emotion or passion or anything. It was just like, you follow these steps to win this fight.
I've never seen a faster fighter than him. He's so fucking good. He has that weird, that style. The difference between him and Ali is Ali was such a, and this is where boxing fans want to spit on me for thinking I really know boxing, but Ali was that fast as, like, for a heavyweight, he had that kind of speed and that kind of defensive and get out of the way ability and that kind of footwork. But he hit you really, he hit you a lot.
Yeah.
And he hit you and had the ability to knock you out.
Yeah.
And he had the ability to really hurt you. And it just seems like in the last couple of years, I don't think Mayweather has hurt a lot of people.
No, because he's not going to take the risk to hit to knock somebody out to put down his defense. Like, all he's not going to put his defense down for anything like that.
And has Mayweather? He's one of those guys. He's so good. Has he really been hit? Like, fucking Ali fought Norton for 7 rounds with a broken jaw. Like, Ali got hit brutally by Frazier and Foreman. Like, There was one we're watching, and like Mayweather has his gloves up, and Pacquiao is like, people were like going crazy because he was spinning. And I said to Opie, it's all gloves.
Yeah.
He's literally just punching his gloves.
Yeah.
And 2 body shots and 300 glove shots. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It looks good for 7 rounds with a broken jaw. Like Ali got hit brutally by Frazier and Foreman. Like, there was one we're watching, and like Mayweather has his gloves up, and Pacquiao is like, people were like going crazy because he was spinning. And I said to Opie, it's all gloves.
Yeah.
He's literally just punching his gloves.
Yeah.
And 2 body shots and 300 glove shots. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It looks good, but who doesn't see that that's not hurting? But Kenny, you seemed like you were irritated by the whole thing.
Yes, I didn't like it.
But Kenny said to me they shouldn't give Mayweather that decision, but they had to.
Just because he's the champ. I mean, he ran away from Pacquiao the whole fight.
Pacquiao was upset.
Was he?
And there's some allegation he had an injured shoulder now.
Pacquiao?
Yeah.
Well, he should have said it beforehand and instead of getting in there and saying it after.
Yeah, he said it afterwards.
Yeah, who cares? You got to say that before.
He was sad watching his post-fight interview when Pacquiao was like, I thought I won. And
it's like, no, you didn't win.
Yeah,
you didn't.
Even the interviewer was like, nobody else did. The
No
interviewer
one
was like,
thought you won.
none of us thought that you won.
No, I know what Kenny means about he didn't, like, Pacquiao was taking the fight to him. Pacquiao was the one pushing the action and constantly coming. But when you looked at how many punches were thrown, there was one point where it was like 306 to 304, 305 to 301 in favor of Mayweather or in favor of Pacquiao. And you look at how many landed.
Yeah.
Mayweather landed a lot more punches than Pacquiao.
They were all glancing blows.
Yeah, Pacquiao wasn't hitting him with knockout shots either. He was throwing glancing blows too, but a lot less of them.
Yeah, Mayweather got maybe 6 good punches in the whole fight.
But can you fault Mayweather though if that's literally the style he fights? Like if he's a guy who's a defensive fighter and that's how he fights, he outpointed him. He did hit him more.
Like that's his strategy, and it's not like a manly thing, but it's like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to land as many punches. They don't have to land hard. All I have to do is make sure I can avoid whatever he's got for me, as long as I can, dust him.
Outpunch him, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they enjoyed their last fight because nobody cares about them anymore.
No, and I think that did hurt boxing because it's fucking, like, I wouldn't care if that was the only fight boxing, like if boxing had a bunch of those where you kind of hope it's one thing, but like that was the big fight. And UFC will have boring fights. There's times where you'll have like a fight, and once in a while GSP would have a fight, and I'll be like, all right already with the fucking jiu-jitsu, could you throw a punch? And you'd be like, it's going to be a 5-round decision.
But that's the thing about UFC too. The most boring fight ever is only going to go 5 rounds, and not 12.
And there's going to be a decent one in a month or two on another card. Like you're going to get the shitty taste of your mouth out of your mouth from that one, from another one.
Yeah, like 4 times a year there's a viral UFC fight that's just amazing.
Always.
So people who thought like this proves that UFC doesn't mean as much because they made so much money. Like, no, I'll tell you what proves that UFC is, and this is not about UFC versus boxing. It just kind of reinforced the fact that I'm fucking sick of boxing. Klitschko fought recently, and I literally thought his fight was coming up. I didn't even know that he fought already. Like, no one gives a fuck. The heavyweight champion is fighting.
There's 2 guys that people care about in boxing, and we just saw them both. And Mayweather, like Kenny's right, like, people aren't going to care anymore. But Mayweather wasn't worried about people caring about, like, he doesn't have to build anymore at all. He said, no, I'm going to do one more fight, and that's it. I'm not even going to go for the record. I don't care. He said in the pre-fight interview, he doesn't even love boxing like he used to. Like, he's just going out there, he's doing his job, he's collecting his money, he's going to do his 49 fights, and he's going to go home.
Oh, that's right. I don't believe him. He will. I'll tell you one thing. He will go for the record. He's lying. Because he's going to get to 49, which he has to do.
Yes.
And then after that, he's going to go one more fight. The worst that happens is he loses and he doesn't get it. But he doesn't have it anyway. There's no way he's stopping at 49-0. There's no fucking way. Unless he has, like, a disease or something. But why would you?
Is the record 49?
Yeah.
No, it's 50.
50?
Isn't it 40? I think it's 49.
Marciano was 50.
So then he would have to...
I think it's 40. I think 50 breaks it.
Marciano was 50-0. Michael Spinks went 49-0. Then he lost to Larry Holmes. And then, Larry Holmes went 49-0. Then he lost to Michael Spinks.
Look it up, Travis.
Then he lost to Michael Spinks again.
ESPN kept flashing 49-0 for Tony.
They said 50-0 would break the record.
I believe that's incorrect. Because I could be wrong, dude. Maybe I'm wrong, but I fucking thought that Larry Holmes 49-0 was one shy of Marciano's record.
Travis Keyboards is on it.
Yeah, no, it's 49-0.
Boom.
Marciano was 49-0?
Oh, boxing expert Jim Norton is incorrect.
Wait a minute. I still don't think.
Rocky Marciano.
Yep, God damn it. All these years I've been wrong. I thought Rocky Marciano. You're right. I thought Rocky Marciano was 50-0. All of these years. So did Larry Holmes tie his record or did he go 48-0?
Jim.
Yes.
You're only off by 1. It wasn't like you're off by 10.
That's true, Kenny. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right. I thought all of these years, I thought 50 wins was actually what Marciano did. So was Larry Holmes 48 or 49-0?
I don't know.
His final record.
Wins 69, losses
No, but
6.
at one point when he finally lost to Michael Spinks, he was going either to tie or break Marciano's record.
Okay.
Do you think though?
I would have bet you at that if you didn't just show that.
Oh, I would have loved to have bet you.
I would have bet you $5,000 and known I was right. I would have not thought I was right. I knew that.
I would have known you were wrong, and all my boxing info comes from the play-by-play guys from Saturday.
Yeah.
Everything I know comes from the one fight on Saturday.
And everything I know comes from my heart. And it comes from my soul. But apparently when I talk, it comes out of my asshole.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, your soul is a dark black place full of lies.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he was 48-0.
48 no. Okay, so I was off by 1.
Yeah, you
but I was
were.
off by 1 in every
So do you
respect.
think
He probably
then...
feels like a real jerk after losing that fight.
Who, Jim?
No.
I didn't lose anything except my integrity.
So what do you think then? Okay, so if he goes for 50th fight, by the way, that was my favorite part of the fight, was on Sunday morning, logging onto Facebook and looking at all my MMA, my friends that are MMA fans, just shitting all over boxing. Like, see, I told you this would never happen. MMA is better, blah, blah, blah. I was like, Jesus Christ, relax. Do you think then, I think people will still be interested. I think they can
In
make,
boxing, of course they will. Boxing will always have an interest.
but they could make another huge payday if Mayweather's 50th fight, he's got to win his 49th fight, but if his 50th fight is a rematch.
If it's to go for the record, 100%. If the 50th fight
Is a Pacquiao rematch.
or even one more young guy who's coming up, the fact that he's going for the record will absolutely be a huge payday. Mayweather's an amazing, charismatic,
Money
electric
Mayweather.
fighter. Yeah, so I get why people like him. And he's like the last, though. When no one gives a fuck about the heavyweight champ, that's a depressing place to be.
People don't like him, but he's the last villain.
Yeah,
Which is good.
They don't have to like you as long as they want to see you lose. A lot of people don't like fucking John Jones. A lot of people like him. A lot of people hate his guts. Doesn't matter if they like you. If they want to watch you fight,
That's
for
the
any
point.
reason, people want to see him get his head punched in. I wanted to see Mayweather get knocked out. That's why I watched that fight. I wanted to see Pacquiao, who seems like a nice enough fella,
Yeah.
knock out fucking Mayweather. So
Yeah.
I watched the fight, and I would have paid for the fight.
I enjoyed it. I watched it with a group of people, and everybody. I was rooting for Mayweather because I like
Yeah.
villains, but I was like the heel. But everybody was rooting for Pacquiao, and it was funny watching the room turn at the end of the fight during the post-fight interview when Pacquiao said that he thought he won,
That's delusional.
and everybody in the room was like, "Oh,
When
Pacquiao,
Pacquiao
like, no, you didn't."
In a close fight, whenever boxers they do this, right? They put their arms up like they both won. And when Pacquiao put his arms up, I actually said, "We just stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. No one thinks you." Fucking Freddie Roach was even shaking his head. No,
Put your arms down, Pacquiao.
Yeah, stop it.
Dude, you look ridiculous.
Yeah, you look stupid. I get it if it's a close fight. There's close fights where they both go like, "Yeah," and they think that's going to sway the judges. Like, well, he must think he won.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are you doing? Are you waving at two people in the crowd? You fucking got your ass kicked.
Well, the upside is he went the distance.
I can't hear you. Can you tell you?
He was happy he went the distance. That's the upside.
You
Is
think
that
so?
you?
No.
You know what he was happy about? That his pay really, he still gets his $100 million.
Yeah, that's a win-win.
It's a win.
Yeah, there was
He's not unconscious, and he still gets his $100 million.
and that's why you think, like, how fucking hard are you guys fighting if you're making that much? Who wants to get beat up and then have $100 million to spend with, like, your fucking, your brains rattled?
That's why Dana White is smart the way he promotes.
Stop saying his name with a big pause in between it.
I was going to say Dana, but I was like, I don't know him
Dana,
like that.
you're doing your walking impression. Ow, let's do walking.
That's fun. Both
I
of
do
us.
a good one.
Yeah.
Dana, ow, White. Go ahead.
That's very, very good.
Thank you, Sam.
But he gives people money for winning. He gives people money for fight of the night. He get like performance-based rewards.
Yes.
Bonuses.
Yeah.
Whereas Mayweather walked into that fight making more money.
180, and then he walked in making 100. I mean, but boxing just generates money that UFC maybe can someday. The UFC can't generate the kind of money boxing can.
The
either.
Burger King walked to the ring with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, that was
the
embarrassing.
Burger King.
The Burger King and Justin Bieber. But then, fucking Pacquiao had Jimmy Kimmel taking a selfie. Like, there's so much money.
Yeah, because the selfie is a sponsored selfie, obviously. That's a Samsung promotion.
Oh, I
I'm
didn't know.
sure. The Burger King is not there because Floyd Mayweather is friends with the Burger King.
Yes, he is. They used to hang out. He would go over there and then Floyd would punch the Wendy's girl in the Burger King and be like, all right, I'll pretend I didn't see that.
That's
fucking
fun.
Topical.
That's good. Just good improv. It's just great they inserted that.
And then the Mayor McCheese would call for new regulations.
Stop with the fast food joke.
Shut up. Roy Rogers would come in and lasso him. By the feet. Quit hitting the Wendy's lady, you fucking piece of garbage.
Oh, there needs to be more control over you.
My mother loves Mayweather.
I bet she does.
Oh, Chipper, look at the abs on that. And then I can't say what she called them.
They sang the national anthem to Mexico before that fight, which I can only assume is because the fight was sponsored by Mexico Tourism. There were, right?
What's their catchword? Come to Mexico, lose your mind, because they'll chop your head off.
Right, I got it.
Wow. We didn't see that part, but Jamie Foxx also sang.
Well, they did. Yeah, they did. They did the Mexican national anthem. Then Pacquiao had somebody sing the national anthem of the Philippines, and then Jamie Foxx came in and did the national anthem for the United States.
I guess any sponsors you can get when you got to pay $280 million or whatever it is out. You're like or $100 million off the top, and then whatever fucking Pacquiao got off the top. Anyone who wants to show up, if they can put in money, can do it. If Larry Flint wanted to do it, they probably would let him roll in if he wanted a giant cunt on his head. If he paid fucking $20 million.
How much to sing the national anthem of Mexico for no reason whatsoever? I don't know, like $19 million. All right, here it is.
These are like bad Kickstarter perks.
Yeah. Well, sing your national anthem before the fight.
Well, they might have had more people watching in Mexico. Didn't they let everybody in Mexico watch for free or something, or some company?
I think it was probably the Mexico Board of Tourism because Mexico's
Board
all
of
over.
Tourism. Why? How come they're sick of it?
Did you see the photo of all the private jets parked in Vegas?
Yes, I did. I saw that. There was
a lot of money.
There was a traffic jam on a tarmac.
That must have been cool. I like their music.
Traffic, and they were jamming.
Fuck yeah!
There was a traffic jam on the tarmac of all the private jets from all these celebrities.
Oh, white people problems.
Hashtag first world problems.
Wow, that's a lot of fucking planes.
Yeah.
And when Kenny and I went, this is why Kenny is smart and I'm stupid. Kenny and I went to watch the fight at the hotel. And it was in a nice hotel. So we pull up and to the valet. We know we're just going to make it. So I'm going to throw the guy a tip. So I pull out a $5. And Kenny pulls out a 20. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's probably a better move. I was going to give the guy a fucking, here's a Lincoln, pal. Make sure, park it up front and keep it clean.
You see which one of your friends had floor seats?
I heard Louis did.
Louis was there. He was on TV a few times.
I didn't see him.
Yeah.
But
they filmed him walking in.
Oh, okay.
Like he was on the sort of montage.
Was he with Pam or was he with
He walked in with Claire Danes. But that could have been coincidence. But then he was sitting with Pam.
And Mike Tyson, did you see the video?
That was awesome when he fucking elbows that guy.
Dude, that guy is lucky. Yeah. That Tyson was like, you could tell he was holding back.
Yeah, where did
E-Rock is lumbering over to the computer.
I know, but at least E-Rock is doing it. Go ahead, E-Rock. Sit down. Be a big boy.
While we're waiting, Trump must have beat us home because when we landed from Rochester, Trump's plane was at LaGuardia.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So he must have beat us home.
Is it black and gold? Is it that one?
Yeah, with his name all over the...
Of course it is, right?
Yeah. But Tyson, if you didn't see it, he's sitting there and he's in the aisle and a guy's going to take a picture with him and the guy leans in and put his arms around...
Like tight.
Tyson, like he didn't just lean in, and then Tyson fucking pushed him off and elbowed him.
Blindsided him.
Yeah. The guy was an asshole.
Yeah, he was a fucking asshole. And Tyson's like, get the fuck off me. And the guy backed up and they're yelling at him. And the guy looks like Dennis from the Bunny Ranch. And the guy like tries to laugh it off, and then they zoom in on Tyson's face, and boy, does he not look happy.
I mean, can you imagine what the Tyson of old would have done in that scenario?
Yeah, get the fuck off me. He elbowed him more than once, too.
That is a mellowed Tyson, though, because you could see that he is not using the power that he could in that elbow. He could have knocked his face off.
Where are they sitting? Like, they're not in the first row. Tyson's on a fucking incline. Did they not give Tyson good seats?
I don't know. A lot of the stars did not have front row seats. They were on the floor, but they were not in the front row. Those front row seats were like, I mean...
Tom Brady was like second or third row. That was like fucking Les Moonves.
Andre Agassi was like second or third row.
Yeah.
It might have been on that tier like UFC does, where that first tier is even with the ring. So they were sitting there because the front row seats were lower than the ring.
Right, yeah, a lot of times they are. So
Yeah.
a lot of times the best place to see, I always like to sit in that little celebrity area.
Oh, that's where you like to sit?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's good to know. That's really like cool and relatable.
Yeah, but I mean, I've sat in those.
So you're saying like any of the people listening, like if they ever can get good, the celebrity seats or like the good seats.
There's 2 sections for UFC.
Uh-huh.
It's like behind where Dana White sits.
Right.
And
where
then,
Rogan is.
Yeah, where Rogan announces and Dana White sits. That's the section. Then the other section is where they walk in just before they get into the cage.
Yeah.
And the referee checks them.
Right.
They put some celebrities there that are in the background of the camera shot while the fighters are getting checked.
It was funny watching Bradley Cooper, I think, was the celebrity who they tried to film, and he just put his hat down and looked at the ground the whole time. He did not want to be on camera.
Why? Really?
Yeah.
What a douche. Yeah, like I get if you're in a park with your kids, but you're like what, the 5th row of the biggest fight in the last 20 years. What do you think, you're going to an anonymous hangout with a chick?
Yeah. I'm just here to enjoy it by myself.
Yeah, what are you, canoodling with a girl in a club? Fucking idiot.
And Denzel was there. Everybody's making fun of Denzel for his mustache.
He's probably doing a movie about a guy with a mustache.
I would assume. Yeah, I saw he had like sideburns and a Fu Manchu.
Yeah, he's doing a movie about a guy. You fucking dopes. Where is he from mustache? Because he's in a movie. That's why.
Unless he's one of those guys that's been told he's good looking for so long that he just uglies himself up. Like DiCaprio, who just refuses to stay in shape.
We see pictures of stupid Bradley Cooper looking down. Is that guy kind of a cunt?
Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
I've never met him.
I met him once. He was nice to me when I met him.
He's handsome.
Yeah, I mean, but that was at Leno, so that doesn't really count because everyone's nice to you when you're doing
Plays
TV.
Elephant Man on Broadway.
Yeah, he does. Without makeup.
Oh, whoa.
He just contorts
brave.
his body.
Ugh.
You have really turned on this Bradley Cooper
What do they
after
say?
one story.
Look, he's a good actor, but no makeup? Come on. We sort of let our imagination run wild.
That's
no,
right.
the poor ugly guy. Why don't they reverse it? Why don't you get a fucking guy to play a handsome guy who's ugly? Like, let me throw myself in the mix. Why don't you get me to play a fucking leading man, like a really beautiful guy, and the audience has to suspend? How about Gerard Depardieu? Get him to play a real ladies' man.
Yeah.
Get that fucking fat Russian-loving Frenchman to play a ladies' man.
I would love for Gerard Depardieu to remake Fight Club and play Brad Pitt's part.
There you go.
Those washboard abs are replaced with Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah, or a fighter. He's got the hat down. If he's doing that because he just doesn't want to be recognized in the casino, I understand.
No, like he looked up, he noticed the camera, he gave it a smile, and then he looked down and stared at his phone and put his hat over his face.
Oh, fucking God, stop it. De Niro's in the audience.
Yeah, he was.
And there was a lot of people there, man.
Everybody. Anybody who's anybody.
Where was Beyonce and Jay-Z with her giant tits? God damn, does she have nice tits on the side? Holy
Beyonce is a
shit.
very good-looking woman.
Yes, she is. She's a pretty fucking lady.
Yeah.
Her tits look great from the side.
I mean...
I want to lap her tits from the side.
Is that right?
I don't like his face, though. He always looks like he's slightly unhappy, and it's like...
He's
you're
a tough guy.
Why, though? You're a mogul, you made it out of drug dealing, and you're dating the fucking hottest chick with great side tits. Why don't you smile?
He made a mistake now with his music channel.
Title?
Oh, boy, did he take a fucking beating.
Oh, yeah.
No one cares. First of all, who the fuck is going to pay $20 a month to stream music from your site when everyone can get it for free on YouTube and Spotify? Like, what are you doing?
Well, because he's got all the artists coming together. I think their goal, though, is what they're eventually going to do is try to sign their stuff. Once their contracts start to run out, they're going to make all their stuff exclusive to the Jay-Z, music service. That's what's going to happen.
I don't think that you're not going to beat iTunes.
No.
I don't think you're wiping iTunes out. And if you try to show you have a bigger dick than Apple, you're not.
It's not iTunes they're competing against. It's Spotify.
Okay, it's Spotify, but will they still be on iTunes selling their stuff?
Yeah, they'll still be on iTunes because iTunes is a different deal. Like, they're not mad at iTunes. They're not coming together because they're still making money off iTunes. They're upset because Spotify does not pay very well.
No, Spotify pays fucking horrible.
And Spotify is like that. Spotify is the shit right now.
And it's really hard.
Aside from Sirius XM, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. But Spotify's different. That's a much more computer. And I usually can't Spotify, but once in a while, if someone goes, that's a file, I'll be like, I know, I've seen it.
I don't like how you merged into
I was
Chip.
just going to point out that was almost a Jim joke, and then I realized how fucking awful it was, so I pass it off on Chipperson.
And Chip took it. He grabbed the ball. He's like, you don't want this one, Jimbo? I'll take it.
I grabbed the bull by the sugar.
What is bull sugar?
I'm so happy I just said that.
I think they were on the floor, Jay-Z and Beyonce, but they were
Fuck yeah, what'd I say?
What?
because they were on the floor laughing.
They weren't. No, they were sitting on the floor. Back to the Pacquiao fight. They were on the floor.
Well, that's a bad picture of Denzel. We're looking at a picture of Denzel. He actually looks like Richard Pryor after he burned himself.
Is it the one with his teeth sticking out?
Yeah.
That's Denzel. He's got his mustache. People were saying that he looked like somebody's drunk uncle.
Yeah, he looks like Pryor in See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
Yeah.
Like when his MS was taking over and he couldn't move that well and his face kind of elongated because he got skinny. Not a flattering picture. But then, is that Denzel's original teeth? Watch a movie called Carbon Copy with him and George Segal, and for some reason I think, can you look at Denzel Teeth, 1985? No, I don't know how.
I was just wondering why we had gone almost an hour without a reference to Carbon Copy.
I do a lot of Carbon Copy references. I do like the film. You know, that was my first time seeing Denzel, and George Segal was the big draw in that fucking movie, which shows you how long ago.
Yeah.
I've been getting lightheaded a lot, by the way. Dizzy as I walk, and I think part of it is my sleep apnea.
I don't know, maybe your new diet.
No.
You're on a new diet? Oh, Jim, tell us about it.
HIV. No, it's they're the same teeth. You're not gonna look. Oh, they're different. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's got new teeth. They did not look like person teeth.
They looked okay before that, though. They didn't look terrible. They look perfect now, but they weren't bad before.
Yeah, look how yellow they are compared to what he's got now, and these are bigger.
Yeah, okay. I was been walking around for the last couple of months. I've been getting lightheaded and dizzy.
Yeah.
I think it's my lack of sleep. I tried the mask again yesterday. I just can't do it. I'm too.
How much do you sleep on an average night?
I went to bed at a decent hour last night, man. I was reading Ronda Rousey's
But what's a decent hour?
I went to dinner probably around 10:30, 11.
And then what time do you wake up?
5:45. Like, it's well over 6 hours. And for me, which is more than normal for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'm dizzy as we're talking, and I think it's the lack of sleep. Like I wear my mouth guard, so I'm better than I used to be.
You know, sometimes I worry about you, Jim, because I feel like you burn the candles at both ends.
Yeah, I mean, I keep thinking I'm going to die of a stroke. Like I really do. I think I'm going to die young from that, and it freaks me out because
So why don't you knock it off? Like, why don't you relax a little bit?
Jim, try.
Weren't you told this weekend only the good die young?
What's that? I've never actually wished I had ear cancer before. But yeah, who told me that?
Weeze's wife.
Oh, Weeze's wife did say that. Yeah, she's like, but I don't know.
That's a terrible response to be like, I think I'm going to die young. Well, only the good die young.
Well, he's actually correct. Someone did say that to me. And that's Kenny's idea of trying to bring, pep you up. He does the best he can with autism. He tries to make you happy. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no, you probably will die young, but it'll be good.
Yes, Kenny is Boo Radley. He tries to make you feel better. But it bothers me because I'm talking, I'm getting lightheaded as we talk. And I'm like, what the fuck? Maybe because I haven't eaten yet either. And
you got to eat. You got to make sure to take some time out to relax.
I need a little gym time. I need to take care of Jim.
And not G-Y-M, J-I-M.
Well, J-I-M and the G-Y-M is what I do. Oh, shit! Here's food.
Hot dog's in the house.
Yeah, I am in it. Why do you call him hot dog? Is it because of his build? Thank you.
No, because...
He's slender?
One time you've caught him sleeping in the office.
Oh, okay. It's understandable. He's tired. It's early.
He was snoozing, and we woke him up, and we yelled at him to scare him. And he said, "Oh Jesus, hot dog!" He screamed it. That was his reaction.
Why did you scream that? You probably covered this on the Sam Roberts show.
He went, "Hot dog!"
I was just hungry, I guess. It was early in the morning.
He's also a complete disaster as an intern.
Is he a good intern?
No, he's not.
Is he ready to be hired?
He's my favorite, though.
I don't think so.
Why are you not a good intern?
He showed up, for instance, the other day. It's literally 6:30 in the morning, so he's been at work for 5 minutes. And Adrian goes, "Hey, hot dog, you have any work to do?" 5 minutes into his workday, he goes, "No, man, nothing to do." He shows up to work, nothing going on. Like his checklist, he wakes up in the morning and he thinks to himself, "All right, what do I got to do today?" And it's just, well, I got to go to work, and that's it.
Why did you think you had nothing to do?
I said that awaiting work. Like I said no. Like I was waiting for him to give me some work to do.
But you had nothing on the plate.
Well, Eric wasn't there that day, if I recall correctly. So Adrian was.
What was it, a weekday?
So Adrian was basically my boss that day, and I just asked him for some work.
He also he constantly tries to pawn things off on the other interns.
So congratulations, you'll be hired sooner.
Absolutely,
absolutely. If you know how to fucking make excuses and pass the buck, you're perfect for this gig.
Our other intern's name is Annie, and he'll be asked I've seen him. They go, hey, hot dog, will you go grab food for so and so? And hot dog will go, "Where's Annie?" like I'm not going to do it.
Can Annie talk on that mic or no?
Yeah, of course you can.
Hi, Annie.
Absolutely.
Have we
Hello.
talked to you on this show?
You have not, no.
Okay, you're very cute.
Thank you.
I'm not hitting on you because that would get me fired. But I saw Annie. I've seen you before.
Okay.
I saw her before. I'm like, are you new? And she's like, no, I've been here for a long time. We don't talk to the
About 3
interns.
months.
No, I don't know why.
I don't know why. We should.
We saw an intern in Rochester.
Oh, Jackie.
Oh, our former intern. She's is she hired there?
Yeah, she's been with Brother Weeze for quite a while. She's fucking sexy too, man. I couldn't say that while she was here.
Now you can say it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I said that out loud. I was like, you're fucking. No. Her parents came to my show, which was really funny.
Oh, jeez.
To see that they came to the show. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, geez.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just can't.
You're correct, actually. That's the right.
Yeah.
That's right. But they came and they're like, she was too embarrassed to come. I guess they're old. She didn't want to hear their fucking old boss talking about strap-ons or whatever, which I didn't. So where are you from?
I'm from Long Island. My parents are from India, if that's what you're asking.
No, I just meant location-wise. But
Oh, yeah.
any more about your parents? Who'd they vote for?
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding. You just gave a lot of info. So what made you want to be a part of the Opie and Anthony show or Opie show?
I thought it'd be fun.
Force of habit.
I'm in journalism. I'm a writer, so I wanted to do less writing, more hanging out, talking, learning about radio.
You're doing an expose on this program, aren't you? This is like a fucking weird project to get in deep. Do
you feel like
God,
you've
am I being
learned?
graded on this? Yeah. I feel like
The voice goes up. I've learned shit
all
from
the
this
stuff Hot
game.
Dog doesn't want to do is pretty much what I have on me.
Do you think Hot Dog's a great intern?
I think he's excellent. I learned from him a lot.
Thanks.
I do.
You like him as a person very much.
I do.
Are you being
Yeah,
sarcastic when you're talking about his skills as an intern?
Does it sound like it?
A little
Yes,
bit.
very much.
It does. Yeah.
You also sound like you were lying. Did you learn anything? Yeah. Like whenever you get the voice crack on the one word answer, it's not true.
I learned where the
Sorry.
bagel store is and how to answer a phone.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a dream come true.
So they taught you any behind the scenes production stuff?
Kind of. The operating system a little bit. Spot blocks and pushing the play button.
I
When
feel
timer goes to 0.
I feel bad for Annie because E-Rock's in charge of the interns, and I've watched her on many occasions, literally. And I'm not faulting E-Rock, but her job has been for 7 hours to just sit in front of a computer and file MP3s,
Oh.
like just move
The
things
first
into
month was
folders,
about archiving. That was
just
fun.
archiving all day long.
It was boring, right?
10 years worth of shows.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Hope you get to
great.
listen to him and laugh.
I didn't, but I could have.
A lot of laughter.
I could.
Why do you suppose E-Rock didn't have Hot Dog archive?
Well, there's a lot of, he was still learning the orders.
He has me working
Same
on
order every
profit.
single
That's
day.
pretty cool.
Just don't draw him.
Good one.
Thank you, Hot
He
Dog.
was,
Hot Dog's into it.
So
Hot Dog, do you get a little fed up of the criticism that you get around here?
The food I get because
But he also he's been here for, how long have you been here?
since February.
Since February. He gets 78% of the food orders incorrect still.
Great. Oh, boy.
It's
God.
the same order every day.
Yes.
Wait, when's the last time you got a food order wrong?
Oh, ask
I mean, look
Kenny.
at
Thursday,
bag.
Kenny, what did he do wrong? What did he bring wrong?
Kenny, you're not satisfied with Hot
Kenny,
Dog, are
Kenny
you?
hates my guts.
Look, I am sure he.
You don't hate
means
Hot
well.
Dog. Do you hate Hot Dog?
No, I don't hate him. I think nothing of him. It's like he's got a good life plan. He sets the bar real low, so he doesn't disappoint anybody. Like no expectation.
But is he a nice person?
I don't know him. I guess.
Why don't you get to know him?
He has a good appearance.
He does.
Thanks, I guess.
I mean, I'm grateful for him because all the shit goes on his back, which means
But
I
wait,
don't really get any of it.
Do you get annoyed when he goes, like, I'm telling you, I've seen him, when somebody, Adrian will come to him and say, hey, can you go do this? And his first response is, well, where's Annie?
Well, it just kind of makes me look better, so.
That's
That
true.
was
You're the
That
go-to
That is-
person.
yeah.
having to do much.
You're the go-to
so,
gal.
thanks.
I was
Yeah.
on the phones. I couldn't just leave the phone. So
Your boss is telling you to, though.
I was Roland who asked me. So I was.
But either way, like, a superior is telling you to do something, and you're like, well, I'm not gonna leave
I just
this.
wanted to make sure the phones were good before I left.
Oh.
So what is your life like? Do you go to journalism school or no? Or whatever broadcast school, or you need to do this dumb job?
Well, I want to be a video editor, so I
natural that you're here.
Yeah, naturally I'm in radio.
Are you doing the video editing for our when we have people in?
No, I wish I would.
Well, why
do
don't we
that.
have him start that or try it and learn it and see if he can do it?
I think the main reason is because he's been here since February and has mentioned video editing once, and it's been right now.
Oh, okay. Glad you threw that in. Why wouldn't you?
He hasn't exactly grabbed the bull by the sugar, as one would say.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have mentioned that? And you'd have to. Someone have to tell him what points we went out. He's new. He might
I
not
mean,
know.
of course, people would sit with him and teach him and blah, 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 but somebody would have to know that he has any interest whatsoever in video.
Yeah, why don't you
editing.
speak up? Because that could be something you could do that's valuable for the show.
I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it a few times.
Who'd you mention it
Who
to?
did you mention it
Stop
to?
pulling punches. Who?
I recall saying it around the office that I was here for video
That's
editing.
very vague.
I remember Adrian kind of making fun of it.
Adrian's
Really?
He made fun of your video editing?
Well, he said the same thing Sam did. Like, oh, you're doing good here on radio. So
When did Sam say that? Just now? Before?
no, I'm saying Adrian said that before.
No, but you said you said the same thing as Sam did.
Like in general, just
like what are you doing here in radio if you want to be a video editor?
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you speak up about it?
I don't know. I don't want to bother people with your.
You're not a bother, hot dog. I want you to achieve your dreams. That's my thing.
Thanks.
And I need to know what those dreams are. I need you to reach for them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So what do you want to do? If he wants to obviously be a videographer, which is helpful on a radio show, what do you want to do?
I'm open. I'm, maybe getting into radio now. I might be starting a podcast soon anyway. So.
All right, cool. We're trying to just get people into the podcast where all this work.
Yeah.
I'm starting one too, so
You are.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, cool. God bless.
What's it going to be called?
Never mind.
I'm just getting the equipment set up, so I really haven't thought of a name.
See,
right
that's smart because then once the equipment's set up, your internship will be over, and you'll really be able to pay attention
Roll
to it.
right in with all this knowledge.
without that pesky audience.
Yeah, you might as well roll right in. Why get a name or a content idea? Make sure that everything's plugged in and ready to go.
Yeah. Step one.
That's the way you do a TV show. You don't write it or get an idea or hire actors. You just get a studio.
Right,
And you make sure that the fucking people are there ready to film just in case. That's very
Right.
smart.
Get the
I guess,
equipment
you say
first.
so.
You want a break? I guess it's 8 o'clock. Is Jamie here?
I haven't seen him yet. I
Okay.
from rolling.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we'll take a break, and then we got Jamie Jasta and Mike Judge from the band Judge will
Yeah.
be in later today. And the documentary was very interesting.
By
I
the way,
enjoyed it.
he's a different Mike Judge, obviously, than the
He was the
television
butthead one.
person.
Yeah. Good pick this morning, Roland. Ugh.
Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah. Non-tuned son of a bitch.
All right, let's take...
Better than Troy stuff?
Okay.
Take us out.
More with Opie and Jim after this.
Henry chooses everything he puts in his chocolate.
Henry likes to put, hey, Cunningham.
Hey, Mr. Cunningham.
Hey,
I put a lot
Mr.
of stuff
C.
in my...
I want strawberry.
I thought you were gonna go. It was almost there.
I know. He said put something in chocolate. I want shortcake's clit in my chocolate. Hey, Cunningham, let me show you an anal orgasm. Hey.
You know, your wife can't squirt out of a cunt.
Yeah, Mr. C, she's been lying to you. All those big things you bring home from the hardware store. That's not really
I
good.
punch clits like that jukebox.
Yeah. Hey, when I want a girl to come, I go, hey.
Squirts all over the place.
Yeah, the melanoma sisters came all over my prick.
And then I use it to gel my hair.
Hey, we're good.
You guys.
All right, let's listen to this. What's so great about this?
Well,
Making a big deal out of it?
Hey, I'm Funzy.
Oh, it's fucking gross.
I
love it.
I try these. I have fun though. It's all good stuff.
Why would you say it?
I know.
It's only good
It's gonna be
fun.
sunny out. Hey, go ahead, Sam. Funzy's here.
No.
Yeah, play the clip. We'll have a few laughs. Hey, come on.
Why is this clip good?
I think it's good because she's just mumbling something that kind of sounds like she's saying I'm gay.
Right.
And like TMZ is making, you said you were gay. You
Oh,
said
they're
you were
running with
gay."
it?
That really is TMZ's role in our society.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they should fucking take a little break, TMZ. They've had a nice run. Relax a little bit.
Like
Not everything has to be a thing.
Hey, making fun of someone like that ain't cool. The Funzy says.
I fucking hate it and love it at the same time.
Yeah.
I believe Funzy may be the least fun person I've ever encountered.
Funzy doesn't like when people are made fun of.
It's
That
on.
ain't
It's on
making-
the same level as like an animated animal that stops you from preventing like forest fires or shit like that.
Yeah.
That's right, but those guys are cool because they save lives. Funzy likes lives. And Funzy.
Yeah, we got it.
You know what life I don't like?
What?
Funsies.
Funzy has a good life. It's full of fun, see?
No.
Get it?
No. Funzy needs to die.
Struck by an automobile.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking to Funzy.
Let's go. Let's do this.
I ride a
I think
motorcycle.
you have a lot of couples because you say it's good to have a maximizer and maybe a satisfizer together. You can sort of get it done.
Ooh, maximizers and satisficers make a couple.
Yeah.
Hello, maximizer. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh, I gotta tell you.
What? Wait.
Just said she's gay.
I mean, they kind of have something here.
I'm just kidding. I'm gay.
I know. Sometimes you got to stop yourself from saying that. Hey, being gay is cool. Funzy said so.
Funzy likes the gays.
Yeah, Funzy. Hey, hey. That's right. Put on a wig. Hey, Funzy likes a blonde wig on a black woman.
You got a pussy, eat some box.
Funzy don't use that kind of talk.
Oh.
Hey, it ain't cool. It's not cool. Kids might hear it. I want to turn off this. I'm going to turn this song off. Good timing.
E-Rock.
Oh, no.
Oh, E-Rock. Too much mayo.
Funzy was doing something, and Fatsy got over
A
ego.
little too much mayo.
Yeah, slippery bacon fingers.
Little slippery fingers.
Yeah, Fatsy was did it wrong.
Listen to Opie and Jimmy every morning here on Opie Radio. We're back with Opie and Jim.
Put the button so I can start the fucking show. This is a new day. Welcome to oh, did everyone hear that? Oh, shit. Damn it. Welcome
cool.
to... All right, let's do it again. Welcome to Norton and Friends, ladies and gentlemen. We're having Sam Roberts sitting over there working the board. E-Rock's in here. We also got Trav Dog and Club Soda K in the old... We called it the hot seat. That's the new name for the guest seat. In the hot seat, we have Jamie Josta from Hate Breed going to sit in the show with us for the rest of the... James, how are you?
James.
Doing great.
Yeah, it's my fucking casual approach. Good to see you, man.
You too.
Jamie walked in with a bag of laundry.
Yeah.
Why are you carrying laundry with you?
Because I'm going home right after this. I'm going to surprise my daughter, pick her up from school, and I figured do some laundry and leave it at home so I don't take it with me to the show tomorrow because I'm trying to lighten the load.
Wait, where were you coming? But it's funny. You're carrying your laundry. It's a plastic Walmart bag.
Yeah.
It's like a homeless guy. That's how David Tell walks around, just carrying a plastic bag. You don't have like a little sack to carry your laundry in?
No, and it's really, well, I have a new luggage bag, and that's really stinky stage laundry, so it would just like make the bag smell like shit.
Oh, it hasn't been washed yet?
No.
Okay, so how often, like the guy Guar, Odorous youngest would come in, and that fucking outfit smelled like death.
Oh, yeah.
That was a bad smell. I always wondered how Kiss's outfits must have smelled really bad after a couple of shows in a row.
I filled in for Guar. I was Bone Snapper for 2 shows.
You had to wear his clothes?
I did. He had to fly home for a funeral, and they were like, dude, you're the only one who will, who could know the moves and fit in that outfit, because it was like, it's a crazy outfit, but yeah, it smelled horrible. I had the stuff on me for days. I give those guys so much respect, and rest in peace to Dave Brockie, because, it was just, there's no glory. Like you do all this work, you got to wear a cup, because if you get hit with one of those, hoses or like that saw, even that fake saw, like you'll lose a nut. Like you got to wear a cup because there's stuff flying around, and I got to rip off Hillary Clinton's tits, spray the blood into the crowd, and I did all that stuff. And then, you go outside and, these guys are out there and the fans don't know who anybody is. I'm like, what the hell? Like, there's no glory.
Do you like that or not when they didn't know who you were?
Yeah. Well, they knew who I was because I was in the opening band too. So, but for the rest of the guys, I was like, at least get a blowjob out of the deal.
Right.
What.
Just smelly bag in that fucking awful uniform. Imagine getting blown a guy in Guar if you're a girl, and that fucking, he's got the uniform on and just the sweaty, awful, fucking stink.
Because you're watching from the floor, like, and it's a living cartoon show, so this isn't even reality. But then when you go backstage and it's the guy in a giant rubber suit that just smells like years of sweat.
And it permeates through the whole backstage, and they're up at like 10 in the morning refilling all the blood bags. They do so much work. They're like the hardest working group of people. Seriously, and they're still on tour, so go support Guar, because they give it all.
You don't have a thumb.
No, I don't.
I never knew that.
You didn't?
No.
What happened to your thumb?
I'm talking about Jamie's talking, and I'm watching, and I'm like, there's something that looks different about his left. Did you know that already?
No.
And I'm like, Jamie doesn't have a left thumb.
That's why I don't fuck around with M80s and quarter sticks of dynamite.
Did you blow it off?
Yep.
Did you really?
Yeah.
When?
90, I think.
You're one of the ones that my mother warned me about?
Yes. It's out. Don't touch it. Yeah.
Can you please tell us what happened?
Just kids said it was out.
Oh, it's out. Oh, sorry, it's out.
Yeah, like it's fine.
So you're just like kids just lighting off firecrackers or whatever.
Yes.
And it was an M80?
Yeah.
And they said it's out, don't touch it?
Yeah.
And what did you do?
I like kind of leaned in, like, squinting, like, is it
behind you?
Yeah.
To see if it was out?
Yeah.
And it wasn't?
Yeah.
So how old were you?
Oh my God.
I think 11.
So is that when you realize that you're not invincible? Like, is that moment where you're like, I can't just do stupid shit?
Well, you
like,
get a lot of sympathy from the babes.
You do?
Yeah.
What was it like that moment though? Like, what's the moment like? You hear it go off, or you feel it? Or
I don't even remember.
You have no memory of it.
Just the emergency room. People freaking out.
Was your thumb destroyed, or just the tendons attaching it were destroyed and
everything?
They couldn't put it back. Oh, there wasn't no saving the thumb.
Yeah.
Did you ever think of having a toe put there? Because there are guys that will do that.
Actually, yeah, that was an option. I saw a couple specialists, but then you lose your balance. You can't run, and you can run, but not like with the balance that you want. Like you'd be surprised how much your toe dictates a lot of your movement and your balance. Like so, but there's people who've done that.
And you got to use the big toe too, because you'd look like a fucking asshole with a pinky toe thumb.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
So you said you weighed.
But I had the finger put over, so it's opposable.
What do you mean?
I had a surgery.
Oh wow, it's like a finger thumb.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my God!
I could beat everybody at video games.
Wait, you had what put over?
The index finger.
Put to where your thumb is?
It's
no,
moved over.
I just had like a little surgery.
I can't even tell. Oh, you know what? The separation between those two knuckles,
right?
His first and second knuckle, there's a real separation.
Right. So it really drives people crazy. Like then they don't have anything up on you. They can't beat you at video games.
So you use like the pads, but you're using your finger and kind of scooping around.
Yeah, and I played like baseball in school. That was my glove hand. So and I made the varsity team in Wilbercross, New Haven.
Wow. Well, now how long did it take you to get used to that?
Not long at all. You just make do.
Okay,
that's the good part about
what are you gonna do
especially when you're 11?
Cry about it
because you're just figuring out your shit anyway.
What do you stick in your ass when you masturbate? That's the most important thing. Wow, I can't believe not that I would ever notice it, but it's like you don't even register what it is at first. Something just looks different. Wow. So you don't have any problems because you don't have a left thumb?
No.
If it was a right thumb, would it be harder? Because you're right hand dominant, I guess.
Well, yeah, I guess I just started doing everything right-handed.
Wait, were you a lefty?
No,
before?
I don't think I was a lefty. No.
Either way, I mean, you just have to get used to it, like you got used to this.
Yeah.
You just figure out how to hold a pencil with your fucking finger thumb.
And you know what? There's so many people that I see like every day on the road that are just, especially guys that come back from like Afghanistan and stuff. So I'm like, I have nothing to complain about.
Their legs are gone. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I see guys like that.
I blew my thumb off with an M80.
I know that's nothing. Like you guys come back with missing hands, missing fingers, So I'm just like, that's why I don't ever sweat it or ever complain anything.
How long were you out of school for?
I don't even remember. I think it was in the summer. I think it was 4th of July.
Oh, right. That stinks. Your whole fucking summer vacation. You're fucking watching everybody enjoy the Fonz.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Just a big half hey.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you.
Unenthused.
Hey. Awesome.
Instead of a hey, it's I suppose.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi.
So what's up, man?
So I was watching the Pacquiao fight. And it was very disappointing.
That's what we said before. We felt like it was boring. It felt like two guys who were actually fighting, but both had the understanding we're not going to kill each other here.
Yeah. Although it was like a fun little scrimmage or whatever they call it, a little sparring match.
Yeah.
I was saying before, but that's what I thought. I was surprised how many people thought it was going to be a really good, brutal sort of fight.
Well, for Pacquiao, I thought it would be because he really wants to beat Mayweather. But again, when you look at then I'm like, oh yeah, the amount of money he's making, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day.
It was like just a big swindle for everybody. They must just be laughing to the bank.
Yeah, he made $180 million.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy.
What do you mean?
And I did expect that.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, you know what? As soon as because we were at the, I got to shout out the venue in Birmingham because they got it on all their TVs. We played with Slipknot in an amphitheater and everybody wanted to watch the fight. And so we go in there, and it's right as they're about to buy it. And for a club, it's more because they could charge people to get in. So they got to pay a lot of money to get the pay-per-view. And so I was like, should we do it? Because it's just going to be Floyd dancing around. There's going to be 2 rounds where Manny gets some shots off, and that's it.
That's exactly what it was.
I called it.
Yeah. And they were saying, like, the amount that they were charging, even like little bars like around here, had to pay like $7,500.
$5,000 up in Rochester in a small play in the comedy club. He has a bar next door, and he said he just couldn't do it. It was $5,000. It was too much.
Most of the bars around here were charging admission. Like it was $40 or $50 to get into a bar to watch this thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot you were in Rochester over the weekend.
I was
right?
up there doing gigs, and it was good. I mean, it was a great club, and I love the audiences up there are amazing. But me and Kenny got to go see the fight. And it's a good town. I mean, like they just, it's not like they're overrun with shit to do. So when they come out, and we watched a video. I guess when did this Chad Coleman thing happen? Because Chad's a buddy of mine.
That happened on over the weekend.
Oh, okay, I was gone. No, Chad Coleman from Walking Dead and The Wire was on a train yelling about Baltimore, I guess. And
apparently, what happened was somebody was trying to figure out who he was. Like, you know how when you see a celebrity and you're like, oh, where do I know that guy from?
Yes.
Yeah. Two people were talking about it. And he heard them, and somebody said, no, I don't know that N-word. I'm not going to say.
A black guy said it?
I don't know for sure. I don't know.
I don't think a white guy would say that.
Well, it depends on where the white guy's from.
How'd they say it?
With the friendly A.
I don't know that nigga. That's a black guy. There's no white guy saying that on a train.
They go like, it was, here.
Hold on.
Here you go.
What?
Just hitting everything.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay.
What did you say?
I said, have you taken?
No, I don't take subways. No one in the limousine has ever said that.
It's entirely plausible that a white guy said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's like you grow up around black guys, and they're just like I believe the conversation went like, you know, oh, do we know that guy? Who is that guy? No, I don't know who that nigga is.
Okay,
100%.
All right, maybe I'm wrong. So, was he responding to that?
That that he kind of flipped out
at the word,
at the word, and at the idea that they were talking about him like he wasn't in the room,
instead
or
of just
in
saying,
the
"Hey,
train
do I
car.
know you?" Right.
Right.
I saw Chad at Caroline's recently. After my set, I walk over and he's sitting there and he came. He's such a nice guy. Like this was a really odd to watch.
He wasn't yelling about this.
He didn't yell about it. No, he went hello and we hugged.
But you're right. He did very quickly go into Baltimore.
Can we see just a minute? I didn't realize, dude. The video I saw was like a minute long. I didn't know this was a 5.5 minute video.
Oh yeah, it went on.
So he just goes on a tirade.
You know who he is?
He's a big black guy from The Walking Dead.
He was in The Walking Dead. You watched that?
No, not past the first.
The Wire?
The Talking.
Yeah, Tyrese. Do you watch The Wire? He was Cuddy in The Wire.
No, I heard that show is awesome. I
know.
It's good. No.
He's a well-known guy, and he's like a legitimately great actor.
And he looks like he looks. Like he's got a look. And when you see him, like as a person, he looks like his character looks. So when you saw him on the train, you'd be like, holy shit, that's Tyrese from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's not what these guys said.
No,
that's not how they refer to him.
So wait.
They said, we don't know what that nigga is.
You know what? A buddy of mine did a horror convention and had that guy appear.
Yes.
Did like a meet and greet.
Yes.
Where you have breakfast with him if it's the same guy. He seems like a cool
breakfast.
guy.
How much money are you making when you let fans have breakfast with you?
Yeah.
Fucking meet and greet's one thing, but
that's
a meal?
what I thought. It was like, yeah, you go to the hotel because it's in like a convention hall in the hotel. And then, you know, you go have like continental breakfast with the guy from Walking Dead.
Oh, God. That's fun. Have a brunch with your favorite celebrity.
Good thing nobody said, anybody know if that N-word wants eggs? He would have flipped the fuck out.
Yeah, let's play for just a second. It's a video shot, and he's just in the subway walking up and down the train car.
What we do? I want to know where my humanitarians are. Yes, I'm Chad L. Coleman. I'm on The Wire. I'm Walking Dead. I'm not trying to fucking play, okay?
I love he's giving his credits.
I'm telling you the truth. And yes, I'm an actor.
He sounds hopeless.
You want me to
absolutely.
record it for you? And when you finish recording that shit, tell me what the fuck you mean. My name is Chad L. Coleman.
Oh, boy.
On The Wire.
Can you pause this?
I'm not fake.
There's over 5 minutes of that.
Give me his credits.
I would have got a picture with him if I didn't. I would have been like, look, dude, I know you're ranting. Can I have a photo? I really enjoy you.
I didn't know who you were before you started angrily shouting your IMDb.
Yes, thank you for shouting out your credit list.
Say that again. What's your IMDb?
Oh, Chad.
In response to your questions, where are your humanitarians at? Right here, Chad.
Right here, pal.
I'm a humanitarian.
Big fan. Enjoyed just Cuddy. I like the character arc.
Take a photo. Oh, that's so funny.
A couple minutes. Yeah, a little bit. Not that much. We can't do 5 minutes.
Where is your humanitarian?
You know who he sounds like?
Where is it, brother?
Wait, Hulk Hogan.
No.
Guy, he said brother. I said Hulk Hogan.
That rasp in his yell, that's Tippy Tom.
Yeah.
If you care,
Yeah.
fucking
Or Tara Reid.
His This is Tippy Tom
That's
watching Sophie's
goddamn
Choice.
True. So if you need to write about it, no, you need to record it. Get your phone out. And when you record what I said, tell me what the fuck you exposed. Nothing but the truth.
Oh, Chad.
Don't play with me, nigga. You're a goddamn fool.
Transfer is available to the
Oh, boy. How about this? That's how far into it is that? That's a minute 21.
Oh, my God.
Go to 3 minutes. Just zip forward to 3 minutes. Let's just see where we're at in 3 minutes.
I do wonder if he was under the influence of anything.
I'm an actor.
Yes, I'm an actor. Yes, I've been on big time TV shows.
This is worse than homeless rants that I've heard.
Yeah.
What was the problem?
I don't.
He was looking for his humanitarians.
You guys got to get him up here. Get him on the show.
Yeah, let's zip forward. That was 3. Let's zip forward to 4.
He walks in, Jim gives him a hug.
Wait, now he's just sitting.
I'm saying.
Now he's just.
That's what I do. The stories that I tell are to try to help people.
Pause this, man. This is now he's just kind of talking loud. All right. Can I tell you, listening to this, it makes me shudder. Like when you're drunk, it sounds to me like he's drunk. He said he wasn't, but to me, that's how I was when I was drunk. Where you just fucking talk and you think that you're fucking saying something
articulate.
Fucking man, I am. Yeah, I'm a fucking comedian. So what?
Like you've noticed what's really going on.
Yeah, like, oh my God, how embarrassing. Like, if he was drunk, and again, he says he wasn't, let's just say,
right,
whatever he was under, if nothing, to wake up the next day and realize you did that, you know, if he's totally sober, he knows he did it.
But it was still some form of a mental lapse.
Yeah.
He did not start his day going, you know what? I'm going to jump on a subway and let the people know exactly how I feel.
Wait, this was in New York?
Yeah, New York subway.
There's a guy in the city. It was like 3 days ago, 2 days ago.
And this is not about, like, it's because you keep saying he's an actor. Like, it's not as bad if you go, like, yeah, and rant about Baltimore. That's like, all right, you just got.
But this would happen. Somebody said, where do we know this dude from? And it just set something off in his brain. So he just started repeating, I'm Chad L. Coleman. I'm from The Wire. I'm from The Walking Dead. I'm on big time TV shows.
He did say that.
It's like, oh, man.
Yeah. No, Chad. Oh, Chad.
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 He might have had a little psychotic break there. Maybe he's on meds or something. You never know.
Yeah, because that's not right frame of mind stuff.
Yeah. Definitely. His characters, though, that's not a far removed thing from his characters. You know, I mean, he wasn't that nuts on The Wire or Walking Dead, but he played a guy not to be fucked with on both of those shows.
But he was kind of a sweetie pie on The Walking Dead. Like he was just a teddy bear, or like he would fight if he had to, but he really had to be driven there. This guy is like, man, you drop one N-bomb.
Oh wait, that's not the guy who did the horror convention. It was a different guy from Walking Dead.
Well, he said that he apologized Saturday that he flipped out and screamed at passengers. He blamed his 3-minute rant on, well, it's over 5 actually, on built-up frustration caused by Freddie Gray's death in Baltimore and insisted he was not boozed up. He lost it and began cursing. Okay, this is just, I want to know where my humanitarians are. That's how it opened. And when they say who he played, he said it was all just a big mistake. A relative at his home in Queens said, referencing the actor's odd behavior. Big mistake. He didn't hit anybody or menace anybody. He was just yelling about something. I don't think he was actually threatening anybody.
I love excuses like that. Like Will Forte on I don't know if you're watching Last Man on Earth.
No.
It's a funny show. He keeps doing terrible shit on the show and getting caught and saying, it's a prank. It's a prank. Just Chad out, call him and go, no, I was pranking everybody. It was a hidden camera. You could call TMZ.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
That's one you look at, you're just humiliated.
Right.
What did I say yesterday?
Because nobody's ever, that people are going to parody it.
Because you probably talk to your family. Or he should go on SNL and do it.
Himself.
Yeah, do you,
It cost Keenan the gig.
What?
Because Keenan Thompson would obviously be the one to parody him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. But that's one of those things where you wake up the next day and you go, wait a minute. All right, hold on. Did I yell on the train?
You go, probably wasn't that bad, though.
I hope it was only a second. And then you're like, wait, I remember I said this and this. And you're like, I hope nobody recognized me.
And then his relative yells from downstairs, Chad.
Why are
you in the news?
Yeah, you're on the news, Chad. Oh, no.
Edward, turn on the computer.
Did you say your name? He's saying to himself, I hope no one. You said your name a lot.
He woke up. And he was like, oh, fuck, I think I did kind of lose it on the train. Probably just one of those things, though. I bet nobody even recognized me. You know, it's a cable show. It doesn't. And then he picks up his phone and he starts getting this YouTube link texted to him over and over.
When you open it up and you have to hang on the street and you see 51 missed messages, you're like, oh, cunt.
Does whoever records those type of videos, do they get paid?
No.
I mean,
that's the era where it's just fucking upload it. But that's fair game. When you're on a train ranting, I get why. Yeah, that's come on.
If you're a celebrity and you're announcing your name and credits,
yeah, I am.
And then and then demanding where your humanitarians are, you're gonna, you of course you're gonna get filmed. I mean, you could throw ads on it, I guess, but no, nobody gets.
Unless you sold it to TMZ,
but he didn't. He just uploaded it.
Yeah, like what are they?
He could have. TMZ, he probably could have gotten a couple grand for it.
Right?
TMZ would have paid a bunch of money for that. But instead he was like, oh, I gotta get people to see this right away. They're gonna see my YouTube name and they're gonna feel famous real quick.
Right.
So they're just immediately uploading it. And then TMZ goes, oh, cool. We'll just put this YouTube link on our page then. So this is just
he told people, get your phones out.
Yeah.
Like, record this. So.
Yeah, he did encourage it. That was the showbiz side of him. He knew that this was something that was not going to hurt.
Right.
But then he didn't really follow it up with a good, he didn't seal the deal with a good statement, right? Or we just didn't hear that part.
Because then he's like, this is what I do.
Yeah. In hindsight, he was probably sitting there he started watching the video going, oh, these fucking assholes. Who would film this? And then he keeps watching and hears himself yelling, go ahead and film this. Take your phones out. Oh, shit.
He pulled out his middle initial.
Yeah.
I'm Chad L. Coleman. Like he
what
really.
So there's no mistaking who he is.
I don't know, but I guess it's probably a SAG thing or after thing where there was another Chad Coleman in the union already.
Right. He went by his SAG name.
Yeah. How many Jim Nortons are there in there?
There's another one I always get mixed up with. He's an actor. He's an old Irish actor. Here's what happened when I did the I went and did a Q&A for Kevin Pollak for Misery Loves Comedy, and we're trying to find my car to take me back, and then there's one, and I get in the car and the guy's there for Jim Norton. But I get in the car and he goes, this is not the guy. This is not Jim Norton. I'm like, I am Jim Norton. I was so snippy with the guy. And then we realized it was Music Express. It wasn't even the right company.
So he was right?
He was legitimately there for another Jim Norton. And I'm guessing it was this old Irish guy. How old is he?
77.
We get mixed up on IMDb. He was doing Of Mice and Men. And people were writing me like, you're going to be in Of Mice and Men on Broadway? I'm like, no. That's the other Jim Norton.
Good credits, though.
How many calls has he gotten? You admitted to fucking a transsexual? No, that's the other guy. That's my Irish accent. That was the other lad.
That's very, very good. You think at this point, though, he would just switch his name to James?
Well, you think I would have out of respect because he was probably in the union first, but tough shit.
I mean, out of respect, maybe, but you don't have to deal with somebody confusing you for a tranny lover. That's you.
I get fucking. I wouldn't phrase it like that.
No?
No, I'm not lover. Just respecter of the arts.
Oh.
You know what my favorite
appreciator.
My favorite part of the fight the other night was when they showed Louis C.K. on camera.
I didn't see him. I missed him.
Yeah, it was great.
Just hanging.
And the look he just gave
he just gave a very Louis look, just like hey.
It was so great.
Yeah, which celebrities are at the big fight? All right, we have them. We have De Niro. Oh, he just looked like he's about to make a speech. This dumb De Niro face. It's just me.
Now, see, if UFC could get an A-list group of people to go to a fight like that.
I bet they could get Chad L. Coleman.
They have enough A-listers, though. I've seen, Justin Bieber's been in fights. I saw Rihanna at a fight.
Yeah, but the Burger King's never been.
No, the Burger King, they've tried to. They just can't get him, or the Hamburglers they're working on. They think the Hamburglers, yeah.
Oh, Burger King going to the ring. I mean, that was hard.
He went into the ring?
Or walking to the ring, yeah. I mean, that was ridiculous.
Trump's wife is fucking beautiful.
But this fight is a good case for people to check out MMA because it's way more exciting. The narrative is, I think, cooler for a lot of these fighters. A lot of times with boxing, I don't care about the undercard, whereas I'll watch the whole UFC undercard, or if it's Bellator or MMA, World Series of Fighting.
The only thing is that in UFC, the guys are not pussies. They're going hard against each other, so you can't build a fight up for years in UFC.
No, you can't.
Right now,
you just can't. And I think that's the thing that boxing has, and pro wrestling does it too. It's just the idea that you can build these fights that, in the end, they're going to be huge disappointments, but people will always fall for the hype.
Hey, wait a minute. Was that Tyson thing? That was not from the Pacquiao fight.
I don't know.
That was from somewhere else. Because he was dressed differently. I think that was not for that. I think he was with his wife at the Pacquiao fight.
Okay, fashion police.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I noticed that the outfit was different. That was Mike's Friday outfit, not his Saturday.
When he made the quote, you mean about?
No, when he elbowed the guy recently. He elbowed a guy for trying to take a picture with him.
But he was
wearing being annoying.
He was wearing somebody else that he wasn't wearing on Saturday.
Yeah, it looked to me like he had his Jean-Luc's on Saturday.
Who was he wearing on Friday?
I don't understand that world at all.
No.
Obviously. Let's talk about ISIS. Those little silly beasts. I'm starting
Seg.
Get excited, you know?
I'm starting to regret my membership. Those guys are really getting some bad press. They're trying to kill this fucking... Did they open fire at a fucking a Draw Mohammed thing in Texas?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a contest of some sort. There was an event, and one of the contests was a Muhammad cartoon drawing contest.
Oh, that never ends good.
It's just asking for trouble, but Texas doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So they're like, no, this is exactly what we're going to do. And then, yeah, there was I think a security guard and 2 suspects got shot.
Well, both suspects were they killed or just shot?
Killed.
Good. And good. But I guess it's the same organization. I forget what her name is. I'm looking her up right now. And it's they're a group that takes out a lot of very controversial ads on the New York subway system, which are, this is only about the fucking, do we have anything on who she is? Because ISIS is claiming responsibility for the shooting. They're saying it was them. But I can't find the name.
Pamela Geller.
Geller. And what's the name of her organization? Some of the ads, they just won a lawsuit. They had a lawsuit where I guess the subway didn't want to put them up and they had freedom of speech.
Well, what is the organization?
That's what we're looking up right now.
I mean, what do they do?
Stop Islamization of America?
Yeah, Stop Islamization. I guess, are they a hardcore Israeli?
I don't know. What do you think they believe in?
Yeah, I think
are they Zionists, or is that what they are?
I think, but I'm not positive.
And their ad had something to do with how they target Jews. Can we look up the subway ads, too? There's something about the subway ads. And I know we had this the other day.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to be asking about this on the air. I should be more prepared.
You should.
I don't know how else to do it.
That.
I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
There was a guy outside our show in Jacksonville that Welcome to Rockville who was from what's that church where it's like
the fucking Westboro Baptist?
Right.
Why? What do you guys do that's pro-gay?
I don't know, but
they go anywhere where there's a large group of people.
Yeah, and it was a huge line to get in, to the show of traffic. And as I was pulling up, I might even have a picture of it on my phone. Of course, there's a guy with a hate preach shirt, like walking right towards him. And we walked. It was like watching the battle at Kruger. You ever see that video where the lions and the wildebeest meet? We watched it happen. The guy just was giving this guy the finger in his face. And, but yeah, he had a sign that said whatever, like God hates,
God hates fags.
Yeah.
God loves dead soldiers. What are the other? I mean, there's a whole bunch of Westboro Baptists. That's like they're dumb.
I mean, they go to Comic-Con.
They
do? Yes, they go. We saw them. They go outside San Diego Comic-Con.
Why don't they march? Let me ask you. Why don't they march in Compton when there's a gang shooting? Why don't they march when they may well do it. Maybe the police won't let them. But why don't you fucking march in Compton when there's gang members shooting? I mean, not that the gang members are pro-gay, but just say
because they're shitty, cowardly people.
How about God loves fucking dead gangsters, or God loves dead Crips, or God loves dead black gorillas, or Bloods, or whatever? Because that's what God's allowing to happen. Or God, why not?
Yeah, and half their thing is doing shocking and showing up at places that they shouldn't be showing up.
They show up in places where they know they're not going to be
attention.
Hurt. Where they know they're not going to be hurt.
Yeah, they know they're going to get attention.
They want negative attention.
Yeah. They'd get attention if they showed up in Compton.
Yeah, they don't want bodies.
Yeah, show up there and say how great it is that gang members are killing each other because God hates God hates
when
fags.
There's a high-profile death, and then they go to the funeral, they know that's going to get them press.
They're just a bunch of needlers.
Yeah.
They're needling.
Oh, good word.
Yeah, they're not there to actually start a fight with anybody that's going to fight back. They're just there to needle.
But this guy was giving out like pamphlets, and people are just throwing it on the ground. It's just such a waste of time, and it's the only one with this huge sign, and you're just like, what is going through this guy's head? Like, you're not going to change anybody's opinion.
Yeah.
You're not having an intelligent debate with anybody.
No, they just want the attention. They just want to disrupt.
It's probably because Slayer was playing too, this is it's been 2 years since Jeff Hanneman passed away, and so I was
Has it been that long since he died?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I thought that's even more like disrespectful, But I guess they tried to show up to his funeral or whatever and protest it. I'm not sure what happened.
Well, they're just fucking. Their younger members are all leaving. Like the young girls, like Megan, and there's a couple of really cute ones.
Yeah.
That have actually left. And then when you start losing all your younger people, the church is just going to wither and die on the vine.
It definitely is.
The ones that actually got people debating back and forth were these young, cute girls who are like 19 years old, and they're out. They wound up leaving. So what's the name of it? What are a couple of the ads, Travis? You had it. I want to roll down on it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Where they were fucking, there was a big, like they say, the ad is that, who is that talking? I can't see. It's a black and white photo. I want to say Hitler. That's not Hitler, is it?
Where? Here?
Down at the bottom.
Yeah.
It says, is it?
Hitler and his allies.
Hitler and his allies. It says,
the Muslim world.
Oh, it's leader of the Muslim world. Yeah. Islamic Jew hatred. It's in the Quran. 2/3 of
all of us, all us.
Of all U.S. aid goes to the Islamic countries. Stop the hate. End all aid to Islamic countries. And then one of the other ads is saying jihad is jihad. It's all about how the Islam. Those are pretty ballsy ads to put on the subway.
Very ballsy.
And they should be up because it's it's free speech.
Yeah, and that's what they argued was that it was free speech. And then the MTA themselves, after the court ruled that they could put them up, the MTA ruled not to allow any religious advertisements. So that's how they got around that.
Wait, so they got around that, but before were they allowing them?
Well, yeah, and then Pamela comes along and spends $100,000 on getting these ads up, and the MTA didn't want to run them, so she sued them.
She got all those ads up for a candy bar?
So
fucking home run, Robert. Fuck yeah, and the court got a payday. Let's go with this. Fucking me and you, babe.
Yeah.
Fucking go ahead, your turn, $100,000. I said payday.
You're making me snicker.
Fuck yeah. And then she took a shit and a baby Ruth fell out.
What? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but then the other guys in court were like the fucking Three Musketeers. They were like a bunch of musketeers in fucking court.
I heard. Stop.
I mean,
go ahead.
It's just mounds of jokes.
Mounds.
That's also a candy bar. See, you didn't even know what you did there.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You fucking give my pecker an almond joy when you say stuff like that.
What? It's an erection.
Sock cucker. Go ahead. Fucking kill them.
You sure?
That's so quiet.
So what are these? So these ads, what does she mean? Like they're getting aid? Like how does she know?
USA. Well, no, it does. It goes to like Egypt and a lot of. We give a lot of money to Islamic countries. So the fucking ad. So the MTA. I guess I can't blame the MTA because they probably don't want fucking people shooting their signs.
Yeah. So
or
now
a bomb going off on their fucking train.
That's the thing that we're at right now. Is there is a line of freedom of speech but some of this stuff is just asking for trouble.
But no political ads at all.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't they? Someone just texted me. Hold on.
Ads.
Kenny said someone just texted me. That is the MTA buses, not the trains. So maybe it's just the buses. But now all political ads have to be banned because they're afraid that a Muslim is going to cause a violent thing. That's just annoying.
It's horrible.
You can't put any political ads up because somebody may love a suicide vest.
Yeah.
And they won't just say that's why it is. Fucking assholes.
Sounds like the terrorists taking our freedom to me.
You know what? If the MTA said we just don't want an Islamic radical start bombing one of our trains, I'd respect them. Because that's what they do, or buses, whatever.
But also, they, depending how much it is to advertise, you take a check for that, and then if something happens,
they should still be forced because she fucking put up that money.
Yeah.
And then won the court case. They should still be forced to run the ads the length of time that money would have bought the ads, and then after that,
then make the decision.
She should be grandfathered in because when she started that court case, they were running those ads. So they should be legally forced to fucking run her ads, I think.
This really isn't that different from all the people that were upset when the movie theaters wouldn't play the fucking Seth Rogen movie.
Right.
The Korea movie. Because they were like, the interview, because they were like, oh, it's too dangerous, we're not going to play it. And people were pissed. Because they said you can't take a movie out of the movie theaters because of threats, because then you're...
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of the same thing.
Although I was kind of on the side of the theaters there.
But most people weren't.
No, only because I knew that they got threats from the mall owners, and it was just... Yeah, but they did. There was kind of... It was the movie companies kind of got fucked. When the top 5 chains dropped it, they kind of had no choice.
Yeah, I mean, I think the criticism was more the movie theaters that wouldn't play it.
Yeah. How was that movie?
I didn't see it.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Good?
Yeah, I thought it was really funny.
I had no desire to see it whatsoever.
The problem was that it got super hyped up. Like, you cannot see this movie, banned from every theater. And then it was just like, oh, it's funny.
Did it make its budget back, I wonder?
I don't think so.
No, it must have. Overseas?
No.
I heard North Korea won't show it.
Yeah.
Well, those guys really are not big on the old free speech, are they?
No, you're right, Jim. But yeah, so now this lady is can't have her ads up in the subways.
How do you feel about the cops fucking getting indicted? Because Sam is notoriously anti-cop.
That's true. I've made that clear many, many times.
There was a crazy incident on 45th last night that I saw, and I was like, oh, should I be recording this?
Yes.
Well,
why not?
I was like, I got to be up to go on Opie and Jimmy.
Some guy was announcing his name in the TV shows that he had been in.
That's a different thing.
No, I know.
He said he was sorry already.
As I walked up, I heard just like screaming and yelling, and I saw the lights and everything, and these two guys were pinned on the ground, and the cops were roughing them up a little bit, and I was like, all right, I got to go to bed.
What the guys do?
I don't know.
I don't know, but nobody was stopping and nobody was filming. Nobody gave a fuck. I was like, someone's got to stop and film, because they had like knees in their back and was like, one guy was like punching one of the dudes, and I'm like, all right, well, they must have done something wrong. But then I was like, all right, I got to go to bed.
Yeah, I can't.
I felt bad. I wasn't a good citizen, I think, last night.
Do you see that CNN? Somebody did the footage of the CNN had shown one video, and then they showed another organization showed the entire video. Is that guy getting fucking pepper sprayed?
Oh, with the fuck the police shirt on?
I don't know. Did that with his shirts? I didn't see the shirt, but he walked up to these cops. And again, I don't know what happened right then. I don't know if he threw a bottle. But they fucking they have pepper spray that really gives you a dose. And then he just kind of stood there covered in fucking pepper spray.
Heaping helping.
Yeah, it was like a money shot with pepper spray. And the CNN showed it like he was doing something wrong.
He had a big T-shirt that said "fuck the police."
But they just showed him walking up. But again, I don't know if he did anything right before that. That didn't prove anything to me.
Did you see the police shirt that says "fuck NWA"?
No,
it's the band The Police.
Oh, that's.
Someone get me that shirt. Any listeners out there?
Yeah, he sprayed a ball. The cop sprayed pepper wearing a "fuck the police" shirt.
I don't know about the indictment. You can't. It's gonna be really tough for the cops to get tried on anything. There's no.
Well, they'll get a change of venue.
Yeah, but, and I mean, there's not a lot of evidence. It's the same thing as the Ferguson thing. Like because there's angry people, but there's not a whole lot of evidence as to what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they said there's a bolt mark in the guy's head, which might prove that he smashed his own head in.
Yeah, it could prove that he smashed his own head in. It could prove somebody else smashed his head. There's just not anything super concrete.
I don't know what they're basing the charges on. I just don't know.
Probably the fact that he wasn't strapped in the back.
But is that a manslaughter charge? Like,
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's mandatory to do that.
Yeah, it could be manslaughter. To when you fuck up like that
for one guy, though,
and that they stopped 5 times.
Yeah. I mean that's what manslaughter is for. I think. I don't know, but like when you fuck up like that, when you're supposed to strap somebody in and you don't, that
isn't one second degree. Not second degree. Is it second degree murder? The one guy. What's the worst charge?
Yeah, somebody got second degree murder,
and that was the driver, I think. Who's? Can you show this pepper spray? Boy, they gave this guy a pepper spray. Like it's fucking. The guy stops and the guy holds his pepper spray out. This guy's walking across the street and there's people behind him. But the guy was just walking. And then, hold on, what does this guy do? There's another guy filming him. And they just slam him on the ground.
Jeez.
He was literally just standing there. And they slam him down by the back. They grab the back of his shirt and throw him on the ground. Now, my question is, was he doing something right before this? Like, if you throw a bottle and then walk over, fuck you.
Right.
So this doesn't really prove to me, but it doesn't look good for the cops if he wasn't.
There's so much shit going on right now that just...
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I didn't finish.
Yeah, see, at least these people are filming, though. Last night, everybody just kept walking.
It's funny how close the guy got with the camera. And after the pepper spray, but I'd hate to fuck with this guy in a bar. He just stands there.
Yeah.
The YouTube culture of all this, though, with everybody kind of just accepting that videos...
Exactly, 100%.
I haven't said anything.
Sorry.
With videos starting where they start, is everybody kind of accepts now that everything's out of context? So there is no context for any of this stuff. It takes weeks before we even find out the whole story.
Sometimes months and years.
Right, like, did you see that photo? Did you see the photo with the drunk white girls grabbing the bag? And so, like, this
guy looked like the black guy was stealing their bag.
Yeah, meanwhile, they were bothering him.
Right.
They were drunk, being assholes, trying to, like, fuck with him. And
I thought he was stealing their bag.
But the context never becomes part of the story.
I embarrassed myself one time, too. I thought it was a purse snatching.
One time?
But I mean, legitimately, where I thought a black guy was stealing a purse from a woman. And I fucking tackled the guy, and it was in Macy's, and he was the salesman, and she was buying the purse. And I said, "Oh, I didn't know. I thought you were stealing from this lady." And he said, "Because I'm black." And I said no. And then I realized he had a name tag on it that said Gregory Bomberoo. I knew that story was going nowhere, so I just rolled downhill with it.
Just keep it going.
Yep. E-Rock's got his arms folded. He's ready for fucking work.
He's not impressed.
Not impressed. Ready for work.
He's trying to figure out how to fall asleep standing up.
I know, which is odd because horses usually know how to do that. Oh, shit. Sorry, Rocky.
But the when the context finally comes into it, like what you were just saying about the photo or figuring out why this was happening in this YouTube video, everybody's already gotten angry. Everybody's already reacted to it, and everybody's already over it.
Yeah.
So when you come across and say, like, oh, you know, that wasn't really anything to get upset about. It was actually those girls' fault. Everybody just goes, oh, and just moves about their day.
I know.
When they first saw the photo, it was stop the world, listen to this social inequality, the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Nobody's taking any time for context anymore.
Fake outrage.
Yeah.
And, well, Jim and all of, like, the comedians that I know, they have it the worst as far as the fake outrage. But musicians are getting fake outrage now, too.
Really?
Where it's like, people are just fake outraged about anything.
What are they? Because musicians have gotten it for a long time, too, about lyrics causing the priest for Ozzy.
Right.
Columbine, right? What are you listening to?
Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, you see it sometimes on Twitter. Like, I had some tweet about, it's just a joke, you know, and about people buying records. And then, like, you know, you get the occasional, you know, feminist or someone. I think I said, oh, girls buy records. And they're like, that's sexist. And you go, well, how?
Yeah,
it's a compliment.
Mean anything?
Yeah, it'd be bad if you said girls buy records and it's convenient and they can store them all in their cunt.
Was that what you were saying?
No.
Oh.
Because they would, because the slit operates like something you can put a record. I'm just saying physically it works.
Oh. Like a mini disc.
But, you know, if you say something even just jokingly that, you know, is so obvious it's a joke, and then the fake outrage happens because, you know, people want to get that reply or they want to, you know, get you to argue with them.
Like, bullying is so frowned upon now. Like, you cannot, to be a bully is the worst thing in the world.
The best response to the bullying thing ever was, what's that rap group, Odd Future?
Yeah.
The Fat Boys?
No.
The main guy from
Tyler,
Odd,
the Creator?
Yeah. He was like, cyberbullying doesn't exist. Walk away from the computer. That's it. And I just thought it was hilarious because, just shut the computer off and go about your day.
Although I said that too.
You did?
Yeah.
Tyler took it from you?
No.
I didn't think so.
Well, he said it. He said other things, but that was the gist of it.
Once I was talking to somebody, I said that.
Don't take credit for somebody else's thing because Jamie said he liked it.
But I was talking to somebody and I said that.
What difference does it make?
I'm just saying, me and my friend were out, and I said that to him. He probably told Jamie.
No, it's Tyler.
It would be great if Jim was a big Odd Future fan.
Yeah. I was following Tyler, the Creator. But people are so eager to, because people have that in them. Like, they need to, you got to get that out of you.
Yeah.
So instead of bullying people now, they wait until they can find fault in something that anybody says. Like, they're just watching you, Jamie, and being like, oh, that's wrong.
It's the mob mentality.
Yes.
But we don't beat anybody anymore, drag them down the street.
Right.
We just fucking hashtag them. That's what I've been saying.
We just hashtag them. We'll just put it on a fucking poster.
But I mean, it's you know, comedy 2015. You gotta.
I like it. I think it's good because the bullying has gone too far.
True.
I don't think you hear that term enough. I like to hear about some bullying. I like to hear bullies getting their comeuppance. What are you pointing at? Do you rock a call?
No. I mean, you want to take a call?
You know, I never say yeah. I mean, I actually want to go to break, but if you want to take one, we could take like one or two. I can't stand the fucking phones.
We can take one. There's the phones up. Which ones are the phones?
The ones with the little two handles on them?
Okay. With the little two hand. Okay, Nana. Like,
well, in a radio studio, you're not swiping iPhones. Oh, shit.
You're not swiping iPhones.
That's
Phil,
right, boy.
In California, welcome to the show.
Oh, boy, up early?
What's going on?
What's the weather like out there? Welcome aboard.
It's the same as
How's the traffic?
Oh, my God.
I was just wondering if Jamie heard anything about the thing with Five Finger Death Punch over the weekend where they kind of had like an on-stage meltdown and I think it was like Memphis or something.
Yeah, you know, yesterday I did a signing for Monster Energy, and I swear every single person at the signing asked me about this incident.
What happened?
And I had not seen the stuff, so I went back to the bus and I watched a couple of the videos, And then I went on Instagram and I looked because I follow Chris Cale, the bass player, and I think
Me too.
it was. You do really?
I do, actually. Yeah, I like him.
He's a great guy, great beard. But
For who?
but it looks like it was a temporary kind of lapse of reason and
What'd he do?
sanity. I think Ivan kind of had an well, this is what I get from the video. Ivan,
Can we see it?
Yeah, you want to? Well,
watch, yeah.
He holds up. I guess he holds up the drummer's book. Now the book has been out forever. So what if, like, this is what I'm, speculating on. What if there was something about Ivan in the book that he didn't know about, and like 2 years pass, and he reads the book.
So they're on stage together.
Yeah, and I guess he holds up the book or something. But then he goes behind the drum kit. The band walks off stage. But I guess they played last night in Houston, right? And all is well. So. He made a statement and he said
he blamed it on technical difficulties,
right?
But accepting responsibility for his actions, he suggests the band let go of some crew members,
right? Like probably the monitor guy or whatever. But I did a song on their album, and so that's why people were asking me in the signing, like, do you? And we toured with them, and I know them personally, but yeah, it's.
So let's watch the video because this was...
It's a long video.
Was he bashing the drummer?
I don't know. I guess in one point the drummer throws the sticks at him too.
How long's the video?
There's a bunch of different videos.
A minute?
I'm sorry, say that again.
The guy's turned around facing the drummer.
You're crushing all the cans. You got it.
Now they're filming. Nothing's happening. Was a monitor broken? They're both, the drummer and the singer, or whoever he is, are both looking off camera. That's the drums.
The other guys walked off.
I'm coming down.
I'm coming down, he says, which I don't know what.
I guess he meant he was high?
I don't know. I hope not.
What the fuck is this video?
I don't know.
Forget it. There's nothing.
Yeah,
Turn it off. I thought there was a video of him saying something at the drummer.
No, I watched a couple of videos, but I mean, they're not breaking up. That band is a money printing machine.
Yeah, they have a tremendous amount of fans.
Yeah, it's insane. We did arenas with them, and like Denver, where the Nuggets play, or wherever they did more people than like some of the games do. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, they're very popular.
Yeah, and they're all on the circuit. I think they're doing Rock on the Range, which we're not doing the same night.
I'm glad because I don't want to compete against you. I'd rather watch you. When are you guys going on?
We play the Friday with Slipknot.
Okay.
You're on the Saturday. You'll be there.
I go out in 2 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks, whatever it is. It's Kenny and I's next flight, and I'm on the Saturday. So I'm glad because I want to watch you guys.
Oh yeah, come by.
I don't want to be on when you're on, and I don't know who we're up against on that Saturday night.
I think we play at 2:30, and then I sign at the Monster booth at 4:30. But it's sold out. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, that's a fucking huge event. Where's it, Columbus?
Yeah, Columbus. I think it's like 50 or 60,000 people too. So America's finally catching up to Europe with the big rock.
Is Manson
festivals.
on Saturday night?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe
on Friday. He's on Friday. I actually want to. We've been texting and emailing for 2 years and we've never met.
You and Marilyn Manson?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I've never actually met him, so I'm gonna go say hi.
He's
hey,
cool.
It's Jim.
He's cool.
Funny if you thought it was Florentine the whole time. I didn't know it was you. And then Saturday is Judas Priest, Gods. That's an amazing.
And what
lineup.
weekend is this?
The 16th, 17th, and 18th of May, right?
Of May, yeah. I wish Sabbath was on that.
And Scott Weiland, if he makes it.
Oh, I just saw a bad video of Scott.
What was so bad about that? I watched it. I didn't know. Was he fucked up? I mean, I only watched a second of it.
We should play it when we get back from
all right, yeah, let's do that.
He's very zoned out.
You
but
really
I guess
didn't know what was wrong with it?
I only watched a minute of it, but I don't know his normal singing style.
Did you watch the first video when he was taking off his coat at the beginning of the show?
And he's all like glassy eyed, and
then he takes his coat off.
It's all slow.
And then a guy comes back and puts it back on.
Well, the runner who picked me up at the airport for the Carolina Rebellion.
They didn't even get you a ride.
Jesus.
Is that bad?
Right. That doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid.
He was also, I guess, had picked up Scott Weiland, and he said he was fine and the show was great. So he must have bounced back.
I guess.
I mean, he did that whole song without blinking.
Yes.
Vaseline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't it did not sound like it sounds on the CD.
It did not sound good.
No, it did not.
At all.
His moves were a little slow.
Quite slow.
But you know what? I bet in his head they were just right.
He's probably like, I fucking nailed it again. How do I keep doing this?
He bailed when we were supposed to have him on Headbangers. I flew to DC and he bailed on the interview last minute, but Slash and Duff and everybody stepped up and did it, which was really cool because we set up at the 930 Club, and it was a big deal to have them, because MTV2 was, really supportive of that Velvet Revolver project. And so you could tell by the way that everybody was like, all right, Scott's not showing up. You could tell that he was just, often.
He did it to us too.
La La Land.
The guy just seems like a dick. Just seems like a fucking dick.
Yeah,
He's a
totally.
talented guy, but just a fucking douche.
And just throws away opportunity after opportunity. And that's the disease, I guess. Hopefully he'll get some help. But I guess he played Carolina Rebellion and it was fine. Or one of these shows. Welcome to Rockville.
So we'll take a break and I guess come back with, is Mike here? We'll have to see if Mike Judge is here of the band Judge.
Awesome. Yeah, we covered them.
And one thing, too, there's a cop who got shot in the head in New York. They said his vital signs are plummeting, so hopefully he'll be okay. His name is Brian Moore. And everybody talks about the Baltimore riots, but no, and people say, well, they don't talk about it because they know the cop shooter will get justice. But they did arrest this fucking worthless scumbag in, I guess, a neighbor's home. But he's a guy that went to jail for attempted murder, and he did like 4 years. And how do you do 4 years for attempted murder? How the fuck does that happen?
Yeah.
How are there guys who sell coke that are doing 20 years, and you're some fucking animal that tried to kill somebody, and you wind up doing 4 years?
Yeah, there's guys who are doing life for pot because it was their third offense or whatever.
The quote says, this is from the Daily News, dedicated cops like Brian Moore will unfailingly face danger so that the rest of us will be spared. We stand in awe of his selfless bravery. Yeah, good luck to this guy. I hope he's all right. And they said the bullet, one cop said the bullet went in one cheek and came out the other, which is very bad, but at least it's not lodged in his fucking brain. But I heard he got shot twice in the head, but maybe that's what they meant. Maybe someone saw 2 holes and he had just gotten shot once. So hopefully he'll be all right. And all right, I guess we'll be back.
Alrighty.
We're back. With Opie and Jim.
Norton and Friends is back. Hope is out today. He may be here tomorrow. He had a family, a death in the family, so he's taking care of that. If he's here tomorrow or the next day, whatever, we'll be here. So whatever he wants to. If he wants to take a day off, we'll be here. So,
but we're always happy to see the Opester.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, there's no pressure to come back if you have a death in the family.
That's right.
You don't want people to go like, we can't do a radio show unless you're here. Then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I got to come back, but I got family shit.
Right.
Why are we explaining this? People
I don't know.
Travis in the break was talking about the black twin and the white twin. One's a redhead and one kind of like has curl, like Radon Chong. and the one, like, someone got fired for some woman said something that was not appropriate.
Hang on. There you go.
You sure? Good.
Don't lip off to me.
Last break.
Don't lip off. Dr.
Yeah, they were being interviewed by some morning show in Australia.
Okay.
And the anchor was describing them.
Okay, can we hear it?
Yeah.
By the way, you didn't say describing, right?
I heard.
Yeah.
Sisters is obviously black, the other is white.
The Alma twins come from a mixed-race family in the UK. Maria has taken after her half-Jamaican mum with dark skin and brown eyes and curly dark hair. But Lucy got her dad's fair skin, good on her, along with straight hair and blue eyes.
And she got fired for that?
And you can see the anchor, the one anchor looked like good on her.
It wasn't like a cultural thing where maybe they just say that and it doesn't mean what we think it means.
Why would you say that? Like, in your mind.
She like white people a lot.
Yeah.
She's like, go white people.
She moves her arm.
Yeah, one for the home team?
Yeah.
Good on her.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Good on her.
Like, who can't control themselves to that level?
Did anyone address it or no?
She got fired or no?
I believe she did, yeah.
No. I mean, in the moment.
Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
I wonder if her co-anchor was like, yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, he made a face like, did she just say good on her? Is our guest here?
Not yet. I can see he's on his way.
Newscasters get a lot of fake outrage too. People, love to react about that. Like, what was the girl that said she used the word jigaboo? That was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. But it was a legit mistake.
Who uses that word in 2015?
Right now, 3 hands are up in the studio.
That is one of those words that doesn't enter into your brain. Like, you can't say that word by mistake because when would you even think it?
Yeah.
Well, she had heard it and she didn't know that it probably meant black. She probably thought it meant like what was it that she thought it meant?
It was Lady Gaga's music.
Jigaboo music. She probably thought it was like a club slang or like just jungle or whatever. She didn't realize it was a black connotation to it.
She thought it meant EDM. The best part was like her co-anchor was a black guy, and she repeated it to him. She was like, like jigaboo music.
And he was like,
he's just staring at her like, yeah. You know what I mean, right? Like jigaboo music. Yeah, jigaboo
so then
music.
people were fake outraged about that, but it was like a stupid mistake. The chick was just, she
didn't know what it meant.
She had a bimbo.
But there are. I mean, you could make the argument that if somebody is so dumb that they don't know that they shouldn't say that, they probably shouldn't be a news anchor.
Right. Yeah.
You know, make that argument.
But she didn't get fired. She just got suspended.
They don't use that word. She isn't even suspended. They don't use that word anymore. Jigaboo is not at all used. Like, it's not 1975. She shouldn't have gotten in trouble because it was a word she never heard. Like, if someone said to you...
You should still know what you're saying.
Yeah, you need to be educated.
If you hear a term...
Yeah. I'm not going to repeat it without knowing what it means.
She probably thought she knew what it meant.
Then you should research it. You're a news anchor.
We've all made... I thought 49-0. 50-0.
And you're a broadcaster. You should have researched it.
But I thought I knew that. I wasn't like I said, here's a new fact. 49-0. I checked it, boys. 10 years ago, I would have said the same thing.
Yeah, but you thought you knew that. She said, I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been like...
When did she say she didn't know what it meant?
When she apologized.
Yes. Because she thought she knew what it meant and didn't. That's the same as me
she didn't know what it meant.
Right.
She just thought it was a word. She didn't think it had some other meaning. Like, you thought something.
Yes.
She didn't think it had any meaning.
So when she said jigaboo, she had heard that before.
Yes.
She didn't know what it meant.
Right.
She thought it was something, though.
Right.
Right. So she thought it was something. She knew it was a word.
But before she uses it as a news anchor and a public figure, she should probably know what it means.
I think that she thought it had something to do with music, or she...
You want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
You got it already?
Badly.
He's quick.
Wow, Lady Gaga surprising a lot of people last night with his tribute to the Sound of Music. Afterwards, Julie Andrews joined her on stage, gave her a hug, and called it wonderful.
It was.
It's very impressive, though, isn't it?
It's hard to really hear her voice
Lady Gaga.
with all the jigaboo music that she did, whatever you want to call it. Jigaboo.
This story is so old, too, but it still cracks me up.
The look on his face, you can see he's like, did she just say jigaboo? And she clarified jigaboo.
She repeats it. No, that's exactly what I said.
You know.
What are you going to say about it?
And his face looks really angry, but he's like, all right, plow through this segment. But isn't that the fucking, like, you're on the news. Right. Something newsworthy just happened, and anchor said jigaboo in front of you. Why won't you say, excuse me, did you just say jigaboo on the news?
Or say, that's not the word you're looking for, honey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do something like that.
In breaking news.
Or jump up and go, oh, shit, no, she didn't.
But I guess he was the guy who he got like suspended for saying skin flute on the on the air.
Oh, that's right, he did.
Yes, and then jigaboo skin flute sent everybody into a frenzy.
Tizzy.
So he was like, oh, now she's gonna,
That would be great, though, if he could just interrupt the segment to say, and in breaking news, my co-anchor has made a complete fool of herself.
If he would have told her, do you know that that's a racist term?
On the air?
Yeah, if she would have said, oh my God, I didn't know that. What?
That would have been
a real moment, and she probably would have apologized, and that would have been it.
That would have been fine, but you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So you got to do something.
Yeah.
Like the public humiliation of that moment would have been punishment enough. But there was no public humiliation, so you need a little suspension or something.
And her apology was a little weird. She came back on, and she thanked him very much because he was understanding. But when they were talking, she said, thank you, boy. I really appreciate that. And people were like, she's not getting the message.
No, this is
beyond just not knowing what was going on. So Cosby got fucking interrupted, too. I like seeing that. And I know I feel like a dick saying I like to see a performer get interrupted. But fuck this asshole and his... How many women came out now? Who's the newest one that comes out?
Heckled or interrupted?
Heckled.
Okay, so like, what'd they yell? Anything good?
Usually something about rape. Usually a rape-themed heckle. And who was the new accuser? Was a woman that was...
Chelsea Handler or something,
Lily
right?
Bernard?
It was.
Chelsea Handler?
Yeah, he tried to hit Chelsea Handler up.
Yeah, she mentioned that a couple months ago.
Yeah, he's like, come on up to my room. Yeah, let's talk business or whatever.
I was probably at that show.
Try this drink. Really?
Because when I went and saw Bill Cosby at the Borgata, me and my girlfriend went, I think, to the Late Show, and Chelsea Handler had gone in to see him in the back beforehand. But that might have been on the same show that
Probably wasn't after.
No, I mean,
Like she probably wouldn't have gone backstage after it had happened. Like it probably was the same show. You're probably right.
No. It might have been. You go backstage after a show to meet him.
No. I mean, if he had already, like, if that had happened at a different show, she probably wouldn't have gone backstage.
Oh yeah, it was probably at that show.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Unless she went backstage again at another show in time. This is around 2010 or 2011.
Right.
That my girlfriend and I we missed Chelsea. We didn't see her. They're like, no. She came on the last show, the earliest show. She was here because she had a show in the event. Whatever.
But you're okay with this heckling?
I like to see it because I really think the guy's a fake. I think he's an absolute fraud. I think he's a rapist. So fuck him.
Yeah, totally. We have our guest entering the studio.
Mike, can we? Hey man, we'll put you over here.
Yeah, come on in, man.
Where's?
How are you? Making his way in.
How you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Take a
Mike
seat.
Judge.
Jamie.
Good. What's up?
And we are on the air, Mike. Just so you know.
All right.
So do you know Jamie?
No, this is the first time we ever met.
But yeah, I know him well.
You know who he is well. What song?
We covered Judge.
What song?
Hear Me, right?
Yeah, Hear Me.
Were you happy with the job they did?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Was that the only time you ever heard anybody cover your music?
No, there was like I think there was like a 7-inch that was like a tribute deal a while back, but
How'd you feel about it?
pretty good.
You felt good?
Yeah.
It's weird to hear somebody else. Comedians don't have to deal with that. Nobody ever covers our shit. But I mean, as a musician, it's got to be weird to hear somebody doing your stuff, especially if it's like a respected musician.
Well, yeah, just to see a tribute to us in any way, shape, or form, it was weird, you know?
Well, the documentary was good, too. It's called, I guess, what's it called? Is it called...
There Will Be Quiet?
There Will Be Quiet. And I wasn't familiar with your story, but you guys came on the scene like the late 80s, wasn't it? 87, something like that?
Yeah, Judge started in 88, I guess, after I was in Youth of Today for a while, and then I kind of quit, / they broke up, and I started Judge.
Why did you quit or broke up with that first band?
Just, I guess, like inner band differences, you know, like there's a lot of shit going on. Can I cuss?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That makes it a lot easier. So there's a lot of shit going on with a lot of, like, Youth of Today was this, very positive, wake up and live type band. And they're getting kind of crucified for it for no reason, which is what I started Judge for in the first place, to like try to show the people, like, the maximum rock and rolls and shit who were crucifying them. I was trying to, like, say, if you think Youth of Today is telling you how to live, well, here's Judge, and we're telling you how to live.
And why were you so anti-drinking? Because I never heard of the straight edge movement. Troy told us about it, and it was, I guess, I know your dad drank. You talked about that a little bit in the documentary.
I was anti everything that would fuck you up, like my family has a bad history. I guess the documentary kind of went into that, and my dad was a drinker. The rest of my family were dope heads, and a lot of them died. And I was going in that same direction, And when I was, 14 or so, when it was one of my first times going to CBGB's. I did my usual thing, which was, these New Jersey guys, we'd go in, we'd get loaded, and then we'd go into the show. This particular night, I was by myself, and I just did it because that's what we always did. And I wound up, getting beat up pretty bad. And
what happened? Do you remember?
I don't know what started it. It could have been me. I was loaded. I don't remember. I also, when it was like one of the first times in my life where I, fucking woke up and like my head was ringing, like I got lumped up pretty bad,
Did you know the guy who did it, or just some strange?
I know who he is.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Did you know at that time?
No. But he was like a kind of like prominent figure in that early New York Lower East Side scene. And it's funny, like when the Bad Brains put out their DVD, like those 2 or 3 Christmas shows, he's like one of the first guys you see. I was so stoked to see this Bad Brains video, you know? And I put it on, and the first thing I see is him diving off stage, and I was like, it's fucking ruined it.
Yeah, the guy that beat you up. Yeah, that will
like,
spoil a fun video.
My wife and shit, how cool the Bad Brains were, and there's a guy who lumped me up. Yeah.
Did you ever talk to him after it?
Nah.
Well, I guess you might have started.
He was a punk rocker, and early on in that New York scene, things got pretty divided between the punks and the the New York Skins, as we were called, and so things had gotten divided at that point. And it's hard to talk to somebody who lumps you up that bad anyway.
Yeah, although I guess, do you think he knew he lumped you up? Like, do you think he would see Judge? He probably was like, that band is great. Do you think he knew he beat the shit out of the lead singer at one point?
Probably not. I don't think I was his first. Yeah, he was pretty good at it.
Oh, okay.
I hope he was good at it, because I got lumped up pretty bad.
But that kind of stopped you, right? From fucking around?
Yeah, because like New York was a different place back then, and I was only 14 years old, but the only way for me to get here was to take the bus into Port Authority and either take the subway or walk downtown. And I used to love, Times Square back then, because there's
hookers.
There was a hustle everywhere. Well, yeah, because you like fucking for $1 you could see like a few kung fu movies and a porno,
Yeah.
And there was always a hustle going on. Someone was always getting had. And as a kid, it was like as close to freedom as I could imagine,
Right.
And just the fact that I had to keep my head about me, and I love that. So I believe that I got lumped up so bad because I was too fucked up to protect myself. And when I fucking came to that night, I was like, I'm never gonna let myself get into a position where someone could handle me like that. I'm at least gonna, I want to be able to fight back. So like back then, there was no straight edge. There was no, minor threat I didn't even know minor threat at the time. There definitely wasn't a straight edge scene in New York at all, And I guess there was a band called The Abused who were like kind of a prototype straight edge band for New York. But other than that, being straight edge was definitely not cool back then.
What was the difference between the punks and the Skins? Like, I don't know the difference between those.
Well, you know what? I was going to chime in. I used to hear stories about Judge when I was a kid, and the legend, would follow you guys. Oh, they beat up punk rockers, and they slap drinks out of people's hands, or if you're smoking a cigarette, you'll get punched in the face and things like that. And I would see how upset like punk rockers at my school would get, because I went to for a little while, I went to a high school that was one of these like artsy schools for people who can't kind of
like Fame. Yeah, the original Fame. That's the high school you went to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. And the fact that they would get so upset at any mention of Judge or Youth of Today or any of those bands was like what kind of drew me to it. Like, oh, this is cool. I want to see what is going on. But you guys had, when I looked into the band, you guys had been broken up, and I think Shelter was probably just starting, right? Which is what Porcell went to after Judge. And so I went to a Shelter show, and they played, and then someone took Porcell's Les Paul that he's playing on the back of Bringing It Down, and I got blamed for it. Oh, and so Ray and Porcell were calling my house like, where's the fucking guitar? Get it back. I actually helped them get it back, I think. But it wasn't me, but yeah.
But you knew, so did you know who did it?
Yeah, he's dead now too.
Oh, wow, over this?
No. Oh. No, but a lot of those guys, unfortunately, a lot of the guys from the Connecticut scene who were involved with, the hardcore scene back then, a lot of them are either dead or in jail. That's kind of how
that
it goes.
early Connecticut scene was awesome, though.
Yeah, I have pictures of you guys playing the Anthrax. That was before my time. I started going to shows at like the Urban Jungle, the Moon, the Tune In, shows like that. But
what's the difference between that scene then and now? Like, when you look at like metal, like whether Kiss or Sound, who the fuck it is, It's not that much different than it used to be.
Well,
it's the same kind of guys going.
I think Judge should get more credit for bringing kind of the more metallic, sound into hardcore. I mean, Cro-Mags, Judge, for sure, were my favorite just because it had more of a metallic sound, and it was, Purcell can really play.
I'll take credit for that we wrote a good record, but I don't want to take credit for bringing that metallic shit in.
You didn't like it?
Like I believe the best bands in hardcore came from listening to punk rock and then moving on. It's, to me personally, it seems like the bands that grew up listening to metal and then getting into hardcore, they have this sound that I just don't get it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm old. I don't fucking know.
What's a band that grew up listening to metal and got into hardcore?
I don't want to name names.
Well, you don't even have to say if you don't like them or not, but just what is a band that you think? Do you have any idea, Troy? A band that might have grown up listening to metal and then got into hardcore.
Well, one of my favorite bands from the early 80s was Sheer Terror. They definitely brought a metal sound into hardcore. They were sort of punk rock. That same
Paul
sort
Bearer,
of what that.
Paul Bearer was hanging out before I was. Like I remember him at my first shows, but I'm just saying, I'm not going to name names.
Well, we had Johnny Rotten in last week.
But I'm talking more about the Purcell kind of crunch, that tone, that sound.
Well, the thing is, Judge, this, we were at a time when, there was straight up hardcore, like Youth of Today was doing it. But when I was writing songs for Judge, I was living in Williamsburg, and I was really fucking hating it, and I would be by myself in this big flat, and I would just sit there with a bass, just trying to write songs for this band I had an idea for. And to get stoked to fucking write music, I would listen to certain bands, and the bands I was listening to were Last Rites and, The Abused and, tons of Negative Approach and Sabbath, because I love fucking Black Sabbath and always have. So if anything, I tried to rip off some Sabbath riffs, and just make them
fast
hardcore,
and crazy,
because
speed it up.
If you listen to Volume 4, it doesn't get much heavier than Volume 4, and that was, hopefully, the blueprint for Judge was Negative Approach, SSD, and Black Sabbath. That's what I was hoping for.
I mentioned Johnny Rotten because he came in last week, and he in the book he talked about the things he listened to growing up. He liked reggae a lot. He liked glam rock. Him and Sid both worshiped David Bowie. And it's just weird to hear these guys who turn into these fucking animals doing this, who start off listening to this stuff that I don't even like. It just irritates me.
The first
I don't like David Bowie.
The first record that I ever picked up, getting my older brother's record collection, the first record that stuck out for me was David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust.
What is it about that album? Because that's the same one that he listed. Why do people like that one so much?
I've never even heard it.
That whole story, I don't know if it's a concept record or not, but it's just fucking cool, man.
But he had a weird androgyny, and they were talking about almost gay stuff in it, which it's odd for these for punk to have been influenced by something that was kind of almost promoting gay lifestyle.
And there's this whole tie in with T-Rex, I'm not the biggest T-Rex fan, but
who's T-Rex?
You don't know T-Rex?
Mark Bolan.
I don't know.
God.
Is that a band or a rapper? Yeah. I literally have no idea. I don't know.
Mark Bolan, he's in T-Rex. Bang a Gong, shit like that. That's where the commercial hits, Bang a Gong and stuff.
Oh, they were a big influence on Def Leppard, I think. That band, Joe Elliott, grew up listening to them, and Bowie, all those bands. Yeah, they influenced a lot of bands. It's weird though. Johnny Rotten would be influenced by that because you would think,
right? You'd think that he would listen to just other stuff that was pretty hard or heavy, but no. And why did you quit? Because what year did you live? 87. You guys were getting really successful, and the documentary kind of walks you through. What year did you finally just go? You say after a show, you guys.
It was I think we made it to 89, maybe 89, 90.
Were you guys fighting in the band?
We should have been. If we were fighting inside the band, it probably would have helped, but none of us were fighting. We were, I guess we were keeping everything inside. And, back then, when we would tour, there was no money being made, so, a lot of times we would go and then if once we ran out of money, we'd be stuck wherever we were at. And then we would just like beg for gigs, try and get some gas money to keep going. And that was just the way it was. And we all accepted that, you know, it was fun. And, just the fact that, you know, it was like me and like my friends, a lot of times we tour with another band like Gorilla Biscuits or something. And it'd be 2 bands, equipment inside this van, you know, and there was like this feeling of like, we're motherfucking pirates out here, you know, like it's me and my friends against the world. You know, there was like no cell phones, no computers, no nothing. So once you left your home and your home state, you know, it felt like, you know, it's all for nothing, you know, we're here together and, you know, we're leaving together. We're all coming back together. That was like a great feeling. And then, you know, Judge starts and, the first tour was like a little bit of an eye opener. It was kind of violent because, but I knew it was going to be like that because of the sentiment behind the first record.
Which was what? What was the sentiment behind the first record?
That was the record where every song was just a big, like, you know, fuck you to everything. You know, I purposely going out of the way to piss like Maximum Rock and Roll off, piss, you know, the Positive Force fucking movement, you know, like Discord, everything. I just wanted to piss them all off. They were all, you know, pissing on Youth of Today, and that fucking bothered me. And, you know, maybe if, like, and there were times in Youth of Today, like the lineup of Youth of Today that I was in had, you know, Richie Birkenhead on guitar, Richie Underdog, and then me on drums. And like, I think if we were allowed to like handle some situations, with force, you know, I think we would have went further, you know, but
like what situation with force would you have wanted to handle? Like even with a good fucking punch to the mouth?
Well, there were a lot of times where like where like the singer Ray, who's like still to this day, in my opinion, like one of the best all-time greatest frontmen in hardcore. And there were times when I thought like, you know, maybe this guy, you know, fucking needs a punch in the mouth, you know, like just the way they get fucking, you know, people take liberties because you're in a band. And, you know, Capo would always, you know, talk me out of it or talk me down, you know. He's
out of punching the singer?
No, out of fans. You know?
Oh, okay.
People, so like, he was like teaching me a better way to be. And on the outside, they're getting pissed on for being like this, you know, preachy band and shit. And I'm just like, you don't know how good these people are. You know, if Capo let the fucking reins off, we'd burn this fucking place down. You know, you don't know how good, you know, these guys are being.
This was in a time where there was a lot of fake outrage, like especially in all the hardcore fanzines and stuff. Maximum Rock and Roll is a magazine, like a fanzine. I remember they wouldn't, at one point they said we were too metal and they stopped taking our money for advertising, and they, you know, would ban all sorts of hardcore bands. They wouldn't review their records, AF, Chromax, bands like that. Anything that, it was like, they were like the PC police.
Yeah.
Did
like,
you guys ever get spit on? What's that thing they do when they spit on you? We've talked about that. Fucking Scott Ian talked about that. Like there was the audience will spit on you.
Like in Europe or
what's that called?
Europe. I don't know, but they do it in Chile. They do it in Europe.
Oh, they don't do it here?
No, maybe you guys had some punk rockers that.
No, I mean, I've had beer thrown at me, beer bottles and shit.
That's a lot better than
it was
spit.
Never like, we love you, let me throw a beer bottle at you type shit. It was more like we fucking hate you. And I would assume if someone spit at me, you know, we're going to go at it.
No, the crowd, that was a weird thing. And Scott said it would smell like bad breath and they would just spit on you if they liked you. It was a really weird
there was
showering
like
of
one
spit.
venue in Germany, I think.
It's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen a great video of yours, man, like an old video of yours where some I don't know what exactly caused it because you couldn't fucking tell, but it turned into a melee. I think it was like when you were first on. I think it was Connecticut. I was showing my wife. I was like, this singer is in like the worst fucking position because this is totally out of his control and he's trying so hard to contain it. You know?
Yeah.
Like I was like,
there's a lot of shows like that.
There's like a thing that singers in hardcore, you know, you're expected to like get clobbered to a fucking certain extent. You know, people are going to jump on you. People are going to use you as a springboard to dive off stage. That's accepted. And then there's going to come a time when something like this is going to happen, and you're going to be put in a position where you can't control this situation, but you can't turn your back on it either, whether it be because it's someone in your crew, you know, maybe your roadie, someone in your band, but you're going to have to take a stand. And even though you're facing odds that you would love to normally run from.
What kind of stuff have you seen in the audience where you had to do something, or you saw, like you said the lyrics were violent and stuff was happening? Like, what would you see in your audience that would freak you out?
I mean, fights happen all the time. That was just commonplace. Like at the last show we played, we stopped the set because
was this back then or recently?
No, back then.
Okay.
It was the show that kind of like, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. We were playing, and it was like this whole. It was a big lead up, you know. Like I was burnt out from this tour. Like we had already gone across the country, and you know, like I said, you know, not making any money. You know, you're. It just was like getting harder and harder to do it, and I got out to California. And things were kind of cool, and we hung out for like a week or so, and then we headed back. And it seemed like we headed back, you know, down the southern states, and it was just night after night of trouble. And I was getting burnt out. Like, I couldn't come to grips with what was happening in front of me. And
do you feel like you were inspiring it without meaning to?
I definitely inspired it. You know, it was definitely all my doing. Like the 7-inch okay, when we put that out, it was to incite this big fuck you to everybody. But at that time, we didn't know we were going to be a band. We just did that as it was going to be a free record inside of our friend's fanzine, you know, it came in that. And it just so happened that the people dug it. And so we decided to make it a band because Youth of Today had broken up and shit. So me and Purcell, the guitar player for Youth of Today, we decided to make it a band. And so I purposely set out, like, for the next record, after shows I played, I seen what was going on. So when we set out to record our full length, I tried fucking really hard to be truthful with the words I was writing because I knew what the words were doing. And no matter how hard I tried with the sentiment, everybody just wanted to rage on the sentiment of the first record.
Yeah, it sucks if you think that you put something out there without meaning to, and people are misusing it and beating each other up over it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, like our record became the battle cry for these people, basically bullies, to tear apart weaker people. And it's fucking frustrating, you know, and there's only so much as a band you can do. And so we would pull into these places and there'd be like these group of people saying, please help us, you know, like, and I, like, every time I'd be like, it's only fucking 5 of us. Two guys are fucking 15. You know, like, what exactly are we going to do?
Yeah, you guys were really young at the time.
Yeah, like our drummer was 15. Our bass player was like 15, 16. Me and Purcell were the oldest, and then our roadie. So exactly what can we do? You know, like, and then, so this thing happened where we had a gig in Texas, and there was this gang called the Hammerskins, who basically like were like hand in hand with like the Klan, and they were having like a rally, and they were like, you know,
I'm actually performing at their fundraiser this year.
Well, these kids were like, please come down here and, you know, stop this rally, you know, like, and like, we were just like, well, what can we do? We're only 3 people. And that's the way it was. And it was just like so fucking taxing because I wanted to help, but there's nothing you can do against.
Well, yeah, you can't save
odds.
everybody. I mean, it's like, you know, you're a musician. You can't go out and fucking stop all the shitty thing. When I was young, I used to drink, and I got drunk one time. I was such a little douche, and I was reading some book about the Klan, and I found the name of the Klan preacher. So I looked him up on information because back then it was 411. I actually got him on the phone and scolded him about being in the Klan when I was a drunk teenager. So yeah, you think you can change things, but then you realize that you're just a drunken asshole who's embarrassing himself.
Well, there, especially in that time, like even when I got into it in the early 90s, there's just a lot of misdirected energy. And I know what Mike's talking about with the bullies. You're pouring your heart out on this record, but people will take like one little, song or one area of your lyrics, and that'll be like their thing. And then they want to come to the show, and it's consensual violence at these shows. A lot of the singers, especially, I don't do it anymore. I do mostly, shows with barricades and stuff. But back then, you guys are doing all these shows, and these kids are like, they're your fans, but they're jumping on you. And then a lot of times they'll take shots at you and stuff. There's guys like Roger from Agnostic Front. He broke his fucking back from people jumping on him, pigpiling and stuff. And it's like, there's no health insurance. There's no workman's comp,
Yeah, we're fucking dumb, man. We see a barricade and we complain and we bitch and moan until the barricade's taken out.
Yeah.
We want the interaction.
So you like when they jump up on stage? Because I would never want that barrier broken from the audience. You like when they're on stage with you, jumping off.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
Well, that was the appeal back then, especially. It's not the appeal for me anymore, but, we did a show, we did the B&B Bowl, which Judge has done too, but, which was great because in a controlled situation like that, there's not going to be injuries and there's not going to be this posturing. But like if you were go to Texas and it's your first time there, especially in the early days with Hatebreed, like we had this reputation. So people would, these guys would kind of come and try to like test you. Like even when you would, like I remember our first European tour, you'd walk outside and these big German guys would be like, "Oh, you look much bigger on CD." It's like this constant like posturing. And that's why I think we gravitated more towards a lot of the bigger metal
How do you
tours.
handle that to kind of get respect? You say something like, "Oh, I bet you say that to all the boys."
Well, there was this band Discipline. The singer, wanted to have some argument with me, and I had to punch him in the face, like just because he was the biggest dude there. And I thought that's, and then that sent a shockwave.
Did you get beat up?
No, he ended up respecting me. He's in jail now. He killed his wife.
Now you respect him.
No, he's a piece of shit. I hope he rots in jail. But
well, why did he kill his wife?
I don't know. But
how'd he kill her?
I think he like hit her in the head with a hammer in like a coke-induced rage or whatever. Well, he was one of these like they were like a big European skinhead band, and they hear about this band coming from America, and they see that we're selling hundreds of thousands of records, and
right?
The kids are going crazy, and it's like there's a lot of like a hater mentality. Like that was one thing I never understood about the hardcore scene, was like when a band would get successful, all of a sudden it was like, oh fuck them. Like, I remember it happened with Biohazard, it happened with AF too. Like I remember people saying like, oh fuck them, they're only successful because they sold out, they went metal or whatever. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like you should support it, but I don't know. It's this weird. There's a weird.
I think there's this thing where like if you're like a hardcore band and you make any type of like even come close to like making a living, then you're not, you sold out and you're no good no more.
You left kind of when things were just starting to really happen. What did you do for 20 years? Because you were out of it for 20 years.
I made a lot of mistakes in those 20 years. I fucked, joined bike club, all kinds of stupid shit.
A bike club. Now, when you were in the bike club, did you do things that you kind of wish you hadn't done when you look back on that, or were you just kind of hanging out?
Sure. I did things I wish I hadn't done when I was in Judge,
Well, were you violent when you were in this? When you were riding around on a motorcycle, were you fighting people?
I was violent. I was violent for a long time. I had a lot of like angst, I guess. I don't know.
Well, why did you have that built up? You said your dad was like a real man's man, like one of those guys, like don't cry, don't.
Yeah.
So why did you have all this built up?
Like I don't know if in the doc it sounds like wasn't like a caring guy. Like I knew he like loved me and shit. It's just he was like I don't know, like a like a World War II vet. Like he was just like a.
They didn't talk about stuff back then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And like even when my mom died, it wasn't like this. Wasn't like this. Typical father-son talk. It was more like we were at a stoplight, getting ready to turn onto the highway, and my dad was like, "I'm going to tell you something. Your mom died." It was, And that's as quick as it happened. He was like, don't cry about it because she's gone. It isn't going to make any sense.
Did you want to cry about it?
Well, yeah, because it was like, I guess I expected it. Like I was, like there was this routine with her, and the routine was broken. She didn't come back, and I just knew something was wrong. I just was waiting for confirmation, and that's how it came. So it seemed like my old man was like a tough guy, but he was just a man, and he had this idea of how men should be, and he wanted me to be like that. And then like years on, he got sick and shit, and I was around to take care of him, and so like he was supposed to last like 6 months, and he wound up making it 2 years. So in those 2 years I took care of him, it was like a fucking slow turn, from the rough guy to this guy who eventually like 2 days before he died said, I just want to say I'm proud of you, and shit like that, and
that was like as mushy as he could get.
Just, I don't know. I guess you just got to be in that situation to understand it. It was just, I never seen my dad that weak, it was like, it, spun your head around a little bit,
And so what are you promoting? I know you guys are out again. You're back together. The band got back together after 20 years. So are you guys promoting the tour? We have a one sheet on you, but I don't know what to promote.
We're just the documentary is being, they're showing the documentary in like one whole deal at, I don't know where the fuck it is.
Nighthawk Cinema? And Nighthawk Cinema in Brooklyn. When is that? Tomorrow night. So it might be sold out. He's saying, Mike's guy said off camera. So try it. See if you can get it. It's called There Will Be Quiet. And I wasn't familiar with the band history other than what Troy told me, but it was really interesting to watch, to see how fast you guys succeeded and to see the reaction of people. And they show some of the shit happening in the audience, and you're interviewed on it, and your bandmates are, and then how you got back together. And so you guys out on the road now? Or are you going back on the road?
You're going to do This Is Hardcore, or?
No, we're going, we kind of pick our spots now. Like we did This Is Hardcore. I think, we're trying to like hit places that
Northwest.
Yeah. And
Seattle.
We're hitting places where the first time around we were supposed to go and just didn't make it.
Okay.
And, people have been complaining about that.
Do you still get statements from Revelation Records? Like, did you ever get paid? I mean, I would imagine that
Revelation Records is the best.
Yeah. I would imagine that record must have sold huge.
I maybe, I don't know.
Do you read the statements?
I don't.
You just cash the check.
Yeah.
There you go.
I couldn't read that statement if you asked me to. Anyway, I don't know what those fucking things mean.
Hey, do you think your friends are older now, right? So they're 20 years older, a lot of them. So are they a little mellower at least? They're not going to fucking bash you to the brains in?
Bigger and stronger, man. It's
they are.
Crazy. But like, there's a fucking good amount of like younger people too, like.
Oh yeah, the people that
we've been like a blueprint for some people, like.
Yeah, they're excited. Like the 17 or 18-year-old straight edge kid who's now in 2015 discovering hardcore music. It's not cool to like current music. So like these kids, they go and they'll discover Judge or Youth of Today. And I would imagine when Judge does actually get to their town and play, it must be like these people just lose their minds because they missed out on it. They weren't even born,
And a lot of those straight edge bands that we came up with, it turned out they were all lying, and they're not straight edge. So
when you were hanging out with those bikers, were you drinking or getting high?
No.
So you never went back on that?
No. And that was a fucking big problem because, in the club, they were like, every time you'd be on a bike run, they were like, well, you pull over because, you're not loaded. So I'd always fucking have to pull over and let the cop, the cops fucking came. I'd be the guy who pulled over and the rest of the club would leave because I was the only one who was,
What do you mean? If you guys were all riding and the cops want to pull somebody over?
Yeah, the cops would come up behind and I would pull over because
And they just keep going because the cops can't chase all of you.
Yeah.
Oh, is there like a designated guy to deal with the cops in a fucking bike gang?
I was like the designated outlaw biker.
Oh my God, I never heard of that. I wonder if I wonder if like the Hells Angels and other groups do that where one guy fucking stays sober, or they probably just deal with it when it happens.
A lot of us didn't even have licenses, you know. It was like, our club was in the Bronx, so it wasn't.
So I can actually join a motorcycle club because I don't drink, and I can be like, guys, I don't want to fight just in case the police come. I would be the designated guy that just did all the talking. But you had to fight when the fights happened?
Oh, yeah.
But that sucks. You're sober, so you kind of know what's going on. Did you ever try to talk your way out of it and go like, maybe we shouldn't do this because you're not fucked up?
Because a lot of times the guys you were fighting were loaded too, so it's kind of easy.
Oh, okay. So you would do well against them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're on Twitter. Thank you very much, Mike. It's mjudge138. One word if you want to catch up on. Oh,
Troy's got a couple questions. I just got a couple quick questions, if you don't mind. It's so great you're here, Mike. I really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thanks for hooking this up, dude.
Yeah, man. So 2015, what are your feelings on the lyrics that you wrote back in the day? And, you know, you're singing them now. Do they still mean the same thing to you? And what are your feelings today on Straight Edge?
They mean exactly the same thing. That's the only reason I can sing them. You know, I wouldn't want to fucking be like some other bands who are back together and posing.
Chain of Strength.
I don't want to be like other bands around today and posing.
What does posing mean? Pretending that they feel the same way they used to feel?
A lot of these bands, they went on to, start like different types of bands and try to succeed, and they went and they sold out Straight Edge, but then they come back and, like I said, these young kids who have searched out these bands, they don't know that these guys are disingenuous. So they're selling a ton of merch, and I've heard a lot of people be very critical of Chain of Strength. I don't know those guys personally, but they're one of the ones that people get the most.
All right, so that's an insult. So when people have been yelling "pose" or "douche" at me, that's not a compliment. All right, I just thought it might be a compliment. I didn't know, so I asked.
But there's bands, like Judge and Earth Crisis, who never, sold out, never went back on what they were talking about, which was abstaining from,
But is it selling out though if you legitimately change your opinion on something? Like as you get older, I'm 20 years older than when I started, and so are you. If you like, you know what, I said that I was young, and I kind of look at it a little bit different now. Is that really selling out?
I mean, that's all fine. Just don't sing the songs anymore, or don't get up there and fucking. Chant these fucking, God damn, I want to say some fucking lyrics and shit.
Like what? Don't chant what?
I don't want to fucking burn bridges, man.
Okay.
I've spent my whole life burning bridges. I just don't want to do it no more. The people out there who still listen to us know who's real and who's fake.
Yeah, and that's why Judge is so heralded in the scene, and so respected, because a lot of these bands, and the younger kids, they're not going to know. I mean, I know certain bands, they say certain words, they reunite or whatever, and it's disingenuous. But with Judge, or if you look at a band, like I said, Earth Crisis, these guys are still vegan, still straight edge. And so, if you're preaching a message, you want it to come from somebody who's really, living it.
At least who is that person?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And Mike, you still consider yourself straight edge today?
Fuck yeah.
Cool. And then what do you?
I'm straight edge as well, I guess. Everywhere except sexuality. Back to you, Troy.
You're recovery, right?
Yeah. Well, in some areas, in other areas, I desperately need it, but it just feels too good. Be on your stomach and have some. All right.
And then, Mike, what do you think about the bands that you guys spawned, like Earth Crisis? Or the bands that came with the militant attitude, like you guys started. What do you think of them?
And what do you think of like CM Punk?
What's that?
What do you think of like CM Punk too? Who's like made straight edge like basically a household name?
Oh yeah, he is. I forgot. CM the wrestler. Fucking. Might have to explain that to everybody in the room knows who he is.
Shut up, Jim. Man.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
I love Earth Crisis, man. Like we were somewhere in Canada. We played with them at some festival, and Carl, right? The singer, he was talking to me. He paid. Like the biggest compliment ever was like, said that Bringing It Down was, the straight edge age of Quarrel, which that was like the biggest compliment I've ever.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
That's Cro-Mag's classic record.
Okay.
And that's kind of like, the Bible of hardcore.
It's like saying that was Disco's Paranoid. Right? About taking another album.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what the album was.
But yeah, Bringing It Down is a classic album. So Carl was saying, you know, from Earth Crisis that was, you know, the straight edge age of Carl, which I would agree. I mean, that's a great comparison.
Yeah, I was pretty taken aback, you know.
So, because it's an album you like, and the fact that you influenced the band.
Well, Bringing It Down was the record where I just tried to like tell everybody like how I really felt, you know, like I tried to make amends for the shit talking I did on the first record, you know, because the first record I didn't take it seriously. I honestly didn't know what how much power the words were going to have, like how much they were going to influence people's actions. You know, I was hoping to like, you know, hurt some feelings, maybe bruise some egos, but I wasn't trying to like be the fucking soundtrack for bullies to hurt weaker people.
Yeah, the Bringing It Down is more introspective and just like more. I don't want to say
like,
emotional,
I was
but
trying
it
to
was,
like fucking say like
there's a lot of power.
Like don't fucking like listen to everything I say because I'm a fuck up. You know, I've been a fuck up since I was 10, 11 years old. You know, I'm trying to fucking. I'm bouncing.
We're checking out hot chicks.
We just looked at two girls walking by and it fucking ruined everybody's concentration.
I'm bouncing off walls as it is, you know. Don't fucking, you know, listen to what I say like it's fucking word, you know.
Right, take it for what it's worth. Like, hey, man, this is the best I can give you right now because I'm flawed.
Yeah, like if you're looking to me for advice, I feel sorry for you, bro.
And this
Yes,
record
I say that every Wednesday at 3.
And this record still resonates with people, and new kids find out about it. Like I always feel like every year there's a new, you know, batch of hardcore kids. Like with the hardcore and punk scene, I feel like, you know, it's like a 2-year cycle where people are like, all right, I got to go to college and become a lawyer now, so I'm out of it. But there's these new kids that discover it, and this is one of those records that is just like you have to own it and you have to check it out. And for a lot of people, those songs on Bringing It Down, those songs are their songs. So when these guys play, it's like people just lose their minds.
Thank you, buddy, very much, man. It was really, the documentary was great. It's called There Will Be Quiet. Tomorrow night, it's showing at that theater in Brooklyn. What's it called?
The Nighthawk.
The Nighthawk Theater. And, you know, if you can get tickets, just try to do it now because it may already be sold out. And mjudge138 on Twitter if you want to follow Mike and keep up with what he's doing. And, you know, come back and see us when you start the tour. If you start a tour and you want to come back, come back.
Brother.
All right?
Thanks.
Thank you, man.
I'm totally stoked on this, man.
Good.
Been a big fan for a long fucking time.
Thank you, man. People always say that. We never believe them, but it's always nice to hear.
Yeah.
My
I
little
believe it, dude. I used to sit in a truck just listening to you guys like religiously, so.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm blown away.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks for being here. We're going to be right back after whatever.
And now, Opie and Jim are back.
E-Rock running the board, doing a good job over there like a fucking piano player. His little fingers are all dainty and moving. Where's stupid Sam? Okay. I kind of have to shit. I'm on this new diet, this Whole30 it's called, and I'm just, because I can't work out properly for 4 months. I can't do, like, my arms and my legs bother me. So I have a tendonitis. So I'm just being really slow. So I'm just trying to still lose weight. And this Whole30
I was going to
is
say,
pretty
eat
good.
a sandwich.
Yeah.
You're half the man you used to be.
Thank you very
Literally.
much. I like that. And I was never much of a man to begin with, so that's really saying to me. So I'm happy to be losing the weight. But my shitting has been off because I'm eating, like, really good food. And I'm not eating any carbs or sugar or dairy. But, man, I feel like a big fucking log brewing. You missed a lot, Sam.
How bad does it smell?
No, not bad. Just normal. Typically, my shits are never good.
What's your Sirius XM bathroom etiquette? Because I was like
I leave the door open and I call people in and I go, psst, and they walk over.
Because when I'm in there, you know, I want to go in and take a leak, but I had to fart and it was like a real long one. And you don't want to do that at the urinal while other men are urinating.
You don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that,
Yeah.
but I had to.
Good.
So,
Good for you.
know, I just let it rip. But there was someone in there just taking a massive dump. And I'm like, you guys got to, why don't you just do that at home?
I mean, you could, but sometimes nature calls here. But it's 100% true that if you're doing it at work, people are commenting on it. Jim and I literally watched one of the higher up executives walk in almost bow-legged, running to the shitter
Yeah,
so
exactly.
quickly.
Yeah, he was
and it made
penguin
our
walking.
week.
Yeah.
You don't get you should have your own, like, private one.
Yeah, I agree. We don't.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, we don't have anything.
No.
We have a new
Can we
studio.
lobby for that?
No, they're putting a new studio in. So I'm hoping that the seats are just toilets. That'd be so perfect. Just take shits while we broadcast, which wouldn't be much different than what we normally do.
Oh,
I just
Jim.
had to stop them before they got us. Yeah.
Self-deprecation.
So
never
what's this
hurt
diet
anybody.
like? You're eating just broccoli and brown rice.
No, you can't eat rice.
Really?
It's Whole 30. You can eat like meats. You can eat anything like natural, like just fucking meat. You can eat potatoes. You can eat anything you want, just not. The key is not to eat too much red meat. Like you gotta watch that shit. No, it's like that, but it's not. There's things paleo you can do that you can't do with this one.
Oh.
I know.
So many rules.
I
But
know.
why?
They're made to be
Why?
broken.
What's the end game? You want to be like ripped, or why?
I
Why
want to
do it?
finally see a non-disgusted look on a woman's face when I'm fucking her without money involved. I'm just, I just want to feel like look better. I want to get rid of what I have, and I got rid of a lot of it, and then I kind of plateaued, and now I'm starting getting rid of it again. So I got a few more. Like these Johnny Cash shirts are finally fitting proper. If you know what I mean.
So
you
how
bet
many
they
more?
are.
Another 10 pounds?
Nah, not that far. I mean, maybe another 6 pounds. Yeah, 8 pounds.
Okay.
Clinging to all the right places.
Thank you very much. And by that, he means my tits and side fat. Because
Well,
that's
you
what
must
I
hear
want.
it at your gigs. Like the girls come up to you after the gigs and they're like, "Jim, you're looking good." I mean,
You must not be aware of who shows up at my gigs. It's a bunch of guys
lot of
with their
truckers.
wives. Yeah, dude, my wife said you look good. Where is she? She's home fucking someone else. Me and my buddies are here. I'm not a girls comic. So let's plug upcoming gig. We have a few minutes left. What do you have coming up?
All right, so Knoxville tomorrow night with Slipknot. All the Slipknot shows, we have VIPs available left. Go to hatebreedvip.com. Have some headline shows. Kansas City on the 9th, Rochester on the 14th, and Flint, Michigan on the 17th. Those two are almost sold out. So I think there's like 30 tickets left for Kansas City at the Riot Room.
I had a gig go on sale. I'm at Rock on the Range. That's already sold out. The Borgata Hotel and Casino, July 10th and 11th. And I had a gig just go on sale. My first time in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I will be there Saturday, July 18th. It's the night before my birthday, which is a big show for me every year.
Oh.
Yes, it's the night before a boy's birthday. It's a special night. I'm doing the National Hispanic Culture Center in
It's a benefit.
Albuquerque Journal Theater. It is a benefit, 100% charitable event, and money goes to the Endorphin Power Company. It's a nonprofit. What exactly is that, Kenny? They told me, but something for sober people?
Yeah, for substance abuse.
Okay, for substance abuse?
I don't feel good.
All right, good. For substance abuse.
I hope cake isn't a substance, because some birthday boy is going to be abusing that the day after.
That's right, or my cock. I hope that's not considered a substance, because you bet I'm going to abuse that the minute I get to town.
Okay.
Should listeners bring gifts?
What do you want for your birthday?
Just want peace, man.
Peace and love.
No, I want one girl to suck my dick and another one to tongue fuck my ass. You asked.
We could probably arrange this. We'll get
In
some fans to
Albuquerque.
chip in.
What's that?
We'll get some fans to chip in.
What's that?
Which, by the way, the Do It for the Chippa tattoo
What's that?
is happening. The girl twittered me, and it's going down.
A chick is going to get a chip tattoo?
Yes, Do It for the Chippa, because I said that last time.
Where
I
is
was
she going to
on.
do it?
I think on her leg, but I did the design, and she's probably listening. And my manager will reach out to her today. I will
Phenomenal.
make sure, and we will put that on my Twitter or your Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, we both do it. That's fucking great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
I'm going to do more audio for the episode 2 of the Chip Animation.
Great.
Yes, it's not finished yet, though. The audio for the first one is done, and they are now animating. It's a very long process to get this shit on rolling, because they have to. I want to make sure that they catch all of Chip's things, and you have to do the spacing, because they don't. They're animators. They're not. Holy fuck, is she pretty, that girl? And then episode 2 is a little bit faster, but I'm going in to add a quick character, because I feel that with Chip, the audio is really good, but sometimes you feel like somebody else should be involved.
No. What about the merch? Yeah, I mean, you're slacking.
Haven't
I've been
even thought about
checking.
it.
I've been checking the site.
No merch for Chip yet.
You
There
got to
will be.
get it going.
And I have Minneapolis and Detroit in September if you want to check that stuff out. And Opie, I think, will be back tomorrow.
Right.
I don't know. We have
and
time.
I got some new podcasts up. I got one with Kirk Hammett, one with Kirk from Crowbar, and then this Thursday will be Mike Muir from Suicidal Tendency. So go to SoundCloud.com/Jamie Josta.
Kirk Hammett has a lot of fucking money, man. God damn, those guys.
That interview actually made like worldwide headlines. They talked about it on everywhere. It was on the front page of
Why?
The Guardian in the UK because he lost his iPhone with 250
God, that was from
riffs
yours?
on it.
Yeah, that did make it everywhere.
Yeah. And so it blew up. So thank you, everybody who downloaded that podcast.
That annoys me because when we had him in, I said, "How's your iPhone?" He said, "Terrific." Why? God damn me. Yeah, but you figure, how the fuck do you not back that up in all this time, or iCloud or something?
Well, it's not totally lost. It's probably just in his house somewhere, and he's got all these like horror movies. Because I went out, I signed, and I had a booth at his horror convention, and he's got all these pieces of memorabilia in his house, like taxidermied animals and props from movies and stuff. So it's probably somewhere in his house. He just needs to find it because there's like a Seek and Destroy or an Enter Sandman or something that's on there that is currently in limbo.
Wait a minute. So he doesn't have, are you sure he didn't lose it in a cab or in a concert hall or no? Why does he think it's in his house?
I don't know. He just said it could still turn up, which, keep your fingers crossed that it will.
I think he's hoping somebody finds it and sends it to him. You wonder if they found it and just wiped it clean.
No, I said, did you put out like a reward? I mean, gee, think about how much money those riffs are worth.
The odds are if somebody finds it and wants to sell it, Jim's right. They're not going to know what it is. They're not going to go through it. There's just like a protocol.
Shit. They're like, what do we do with this? Especially if it's got a passcode on it.
They're just going to go. They're going to take it. They're going to wipe it.
If it's a new phone, you can't even wipe it without the fingerprint.
I mean, I've had it happen with an iPod Touch that I had riffs on, and it just fell into a couch, and then I found it like 2 years later, and I was like, yes. So it could, it could happen, but for me, that's a lot different. One of these albums could sell, this new Metallica album could sell like 2 million copies.
That's
more,
so stupid, though. Like, you're Kirk Hammett. How do you not? How do you not put your stuff? How do you not back your stuff up? I mean, come on, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he sent out like, this warning to everybody. Make sure you back it up. But it's true. Like some phones you can't back up. I've tried. Like I had one of those shitty iPhone 4s where it never backed up, not once. So I was like emailing myself the voice memos with the riffs on it.
There's no way Kirk Hammett has an iPhone 4.
No. Hopefully not.
Probably got an iPhone 200, right, boys? That kind of money.
His festival's called Fear Festival. And he had like Bill Moseley there, Corey Taylor, John Five. They did this jam. He actually jammed with High on Fire. It was amazing. He did like Judas Priest. He did a bunch of covers. So he does that every year. This Fear Festival is really, really cool.
I know a girl who, a friend of mine actually does, she's posed with him at that. Like she's in his show. She toured with that at one point with Metallica a few years ago. And she was like a model for his show, and she'd be in the Fear thing he was doing. He was doing like a signing at it. Right?
He owns like a hearse or something, and you can see that. And then they had like a car show, and it was a cool event. It was at this place, Rock Bar in San Jose.
That guy's got to pull in though. He's got to pull in, $1.5 million a year, easy, right?
Oh, I mean, well, Orion Festival, I guess, lost money, which I don't know if I brought that up in the,
the Metallica Festival?
Yeah, I brought up that the movie lost money because we were talking about why doesn't he, produce, more horror films.
Well, here's why the movie might have lost money. How about those guys go on more fucking outlets and plug it instead of just Howard and Colbert? There was a lot of radio shows here that wanted to do it, and they wouldn't do anybody but Stern. And it's like, what do you guys want? You don't want to come on the other shows and promote it.
I don't think that was their choice, though.
Yeah, it was. They could have come on any show they wanted. They're Metallica. They could do whatever they want. Then again, they did have a month of Metallica. Maybe they did do Metallica's channel. Maybe it's just people didn't want to see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like how quickly you change your mind.
Well, if I'm wrong, if I have to amend my facts, I just wanted it to be about us, but that's not true.
Yeah, but I mean, they spent $18 million on the film, and I think the box office was $3 million.
That's not even close.
So
good point. That's good math.
So, yeah, so we discussed kind of like the economics of that. And it's interesting because, the movie was leaked. Of course, all the fans, can just torrent it, so I can't see a lot of bands being able to do, DVDs or films, whatever, without a backer or a sponsor.
What was this about? What was this one about?
Through the Never? It kind of was like a story.
Like a narrative concert movie.
Yeah. I mean, the name of it, first of all, is weird. Through the Never. What the fuck does that mean? And second of all, no non-material. You always want to get people who aren't your fans to be interested in something you're doing. That's how you make the, I just did the dollar.
The cash
sign,
money.
Yeah, for moolah. You got to get people who aren't interested in it. Like, that's what makes a great documentary. Like, if you're not a big Beatles fan, but you still watch that George Harrison, or I'm not a huge Eagles fan. I like them, but the documentary was fantastic.
Yeah, this was a really different concept, though.
Oh, go ahead. Humiliate me further.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, no, you're right. Like, people do need to get interested in it because it's not a concert film and it's not a documentary. It's like a story.
A rockumentary, mockumentary, sockumentary.
Yeah, it was like a story told through a concert. It was none of the things that Jim just rattled off.
No.
But I was saying that you want to get your fans interested in it, whatever.
I'm agreeing with you because it is a different concept.
I was right, Sam. Some things are going to change around here now that the Oprah's out for a couple of days.
Oh, you put his sunglasses.
So what? People want to know that there's like a real celebrity in here performing. What the fuck is your problem?
I don't think anybody's wondering that.
I think they are. They're like, who's this guy? Who's this sharp guy doing radio?
What the hell's going on around
Yeah.
here?
Oh, I forgot about that. God, what the hell is going on around here? It's my new look. Do you like it? It's a real.
We'll make a shirt.
Fuck yeah. Well, I think today was a success as best we could do under the circumstances.
Yeah, my
Right or wrong?
condolences to Hope.
Yeah.
He comes back soon.
He literally found out like 5 minutes before the show started.
Yeah.
Yeah, because wasn't he like Instagramming from the lobby?
He was sitting
here.
in the chair.
Yeah, he was in a great mood. I walked in and he's like, I guess I should. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, you should. It's family.
Yeah, of course.
You got to do that. And, just go to Chip Chipperson at Twitter.
Yeah.
What is that? Plugging?
I'm just trying to plug things on the way out the door. We have to be out by 10:30. We don't have the luxury we normally do because we're in studio. Hold on, death coming.
There's a new Chip Chipperson video on Twitter.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Norton Street.
Well, there was another one after that too.
There's too many.
No, there was one when we were coming back. There was like a big when you guys were coming back.
Oh, yeah. There's another one. Yeah.
That was stupid. That was dumb.
This one?
Yeah, it was dumb.
It was dumb?
A little bit, yeah. We're here in New York trying to cross the street, but there's a fucking motorcycle riot or something. There's a whole bunch of people. There's a big bunch of bikers. There's a big fight going on. Fucking people are charging the car. We better get the fudge out of here.
Can't you do like one of those? Can't you do like one of those movie commentary shows, like where it's just the silhouette of the back of your head watching the movie as Chip Chipperson?
I've done porn like that. I've narrated pornography, and people it gets every cock in the room hard. So yeah,
Is this another good one?
That was that was in Rochester, Norton Street.
No, Sam.
Chip is going to be like a media mogul.
He's a sensation.
Yeah, he really is.
Chip is a sensation.
He's the best part of America.
Norton Street, I bet everyone on that street has a big fucking pecker. Hey, look, everyone on that street has a big fucking pecker. You hear what I said? Motherfucking Kenny Mustache Muffins. Happy birthday, sock cucker.
Thank you.
It was Kenny's.
Everybody was correcting me on my spelling on Twitter of Chippa, Pekka. You got to have the H.
Yeah, you do.
You can't,
C-H-I-P-P-A-H.
You can't have too many A's.
Yeah.
You can't have like two A's before the H.
Yeah. Nicole.
So we made sure we fixed the tattoo.
Oh, good. C-H-I-P. Well, it's actually Chip, but how is she going to spell it?
C-H-I-P-P-A-H. Do it for the Chippa.
Do it for the Chippa.
That's what you said in the video.
Fucking right.
I'm glad we're ending on that note.
Yeah, how else should we end? It's how we should begin. It's how we should middle. It's how we should end. Am I right or wrong, Travis?
You're wrong.
100% right.
No,
Travis
right.
says right. I say right. Jamie says right. You're in the minority.
All right.
In a lot of ways, not just your hair.
Oh, Jim, you got a million of them.
I certainly do. Welcome to Zinger City, ladies and germs. Anything for tomorrow we got to plug?
I don't think so. We have Mark Marin and Greg Proops in studio tomorrow.
Okay, so we'll plug our comedian friends.
Yeah, they're going to be good.
All right, I guess that's it. Thanks a lot, everybody, for listening.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Today's show will be available later today.